Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $salshowtime. Thanks for your support.
All right. Well, I just want to start off to say that this whole Edomite doctrine, Brother Josh the one actually taught me. And, in fact, he taught me on Debate Talk for You. And, I believed it for a while, and I took it to the people, took it to some brothers, and I got a lot of resistance, got a lot of people bringing scriptures, history, all of that sort of thing. So I studied up on it and did my research, and I found that, in fact, he wasn't an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to prove this tonight. I'm not here actually to prove that Job descends from any, lineage. I'm not here to prove that he descends from Abraham's lineage directly, although we're going to get into that, but that's not what I'm here to. What I'm here to do is to prove that Job is, in fact, not an Edomite. So with that said, let's go over to Genesis chapter 11, because we need to deal with when the confounding of the languages, the people, and the speech. So we got to deal with that. So we're going to go there, and then we also going to find out why Job ended up in the land of Uz through this, and find out there were actually three Uzes, and these are three different people. It's not a city and a person and something else. It's three different people. We're going to deal with that. So let's go to Genesis 11:1, and it says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech." And we're going to skip to the fourth verse. "And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and therefore confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city." Now let's go over to Jasher chapter 10, verse 2. This is in the book of Jasher, chapter 10, verse 2. Same situation. It says, "And when the Lord has scattered the sons of men on account of their sin at the tower, behold, they spread forth into many divisions, and all the sons of men were dispersed into the four corners of the earth. And all the families became each according to its language, its land, or its city." So that's pretty much what we read, right? "And the sons of men built many cities according to their families, and in all the places where they went, and throughout the earth where the Lord had scattered them." So that's exactly what we read. So, okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 10 now, pick it up at the 22nd verse. Going to deal with one of those Uzes. It says, "The children of Shem, Elam, Usher, and Araphat, and Araphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. The children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash." So there go one right there. Aram, son, Uz. Right? Okay, let's go back to Jasher. Let's go to Jasher 10 and 34 now. This is Jasher chapter 10, verse 34. It says, "And the children of Aram also went and built themselves a city, and they called the name of the city Uz, after their eldest brother. And they dwelt therein, and this is the land of Uz to this day." So the children of Aram built the city of Uz, which was named after their brother. Right? Okay, let's go to Genesis 22 now. Genesis 22 and verse 20. Genesis 22 and 20, and it says, "And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Huz is another word for Uz. That's the same name, Uz. It's just pronounced Huz and spelled Huz here, but that's the same name. So that's two of them now. One, the son of Aram, and Aram's brother is named Uz. That's why Aram's son was named Uz. But it says Uz is firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Camille the father of Aram. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to Genesis 36 and 20. It says, these are the sons of Seir and the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan and Shubal and Zibeon and Anah. Genesis, skip to the 28th verse. It says, the children of Dishan are these, Uz and Aaron. So we see now that the Seirites or the children of Edom or the Temanites or what have you, all of them, the children of Dishan, Uz come out of them. So it's three of them. It's three different Uz's. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say that because T-Man dwelt in the land of Uz and these children of Dishan dwelt in the land of Uz and their brother just happened to name be Uz, that Job is an Edomite because of this fact. Let's go to the Catholic Encyclopedia and look up Job. In Catholic Encyclopedia, and this is what it says. It says, Job was the great-grandson of Nahor. This is what the Catholic Encyclopedia says. It says he was the great-grandson of Nahor, Abraham's brother. His maternal grandfather was Nahor's son, Uz, the elder, what we just got through reading, right? The elder Uz's daughter married Dishan. We just read about the children of Dishan, and he was a Horite. And it says she named her firstborn son Uz after her father. Uz the younger was Seir's grandson. And the Uz the elder, son of Nahor, whose grandson by his granddaughter was Uz, the son of Dishan. Job was of the clan of Uz. So they got scattered. The children of Aram built the city of Uz. Job dwelt in that city. We're going to see a little later why, but as far as now, we already got three Uz's, three different people. The Catholic Encyclopedia tells us that Job was Nahor's, well, let's read it over. It says, here we go, Job was the great-grandson of Nahor. So the Catholic Encyclopedia says that Job was the great-grandson of Nahor, and he couldn't be an Edomite. If that was the case, if the Catholic Encyclopedia, if you believe it at any rate, you know what I'm saying? I know some people don't believe encyclopedias. But let's go over to Job chapter 1 now and pick it up at the first verse. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright and one that feared God and eschewed evil. All right, and let's go over to Lamentations 4 and 21 because this is where he would go to show us that Job is an Edomite because he dwelt in the land of Uz. Lamentations 4 and 21 says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. Yeah, they dwelt in the land of Uz as well. But the land of Uz, the city, was built by the children of Aram. You understand what I'm saying? And then it says, the cup also shall pass through thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. Now, let's go to the 22nd verse. This is actually yet future. Look at this. It says, this is talking to Israel. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. How is the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished? Look, it says, O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. Hold on, he ain't going to carry thee away into captivity. So this must be talking about 70 A.D. It has to be, because that was the last time the children of Israel were scattered from their land. Now, there were captivities within captivities, like the triangle trade that came a little bit later, and Ishmael's slave trade, and also Edom's financing of the triangle trade. So there was captivity upon captivities, but the captivity from them leaving Jerusalem, 70 A.D. I will carry you no more into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. Why? Because Edom helped the Romans kick them out and kill them. He will discover thy sins. And then if you read in Obadiah, you can read all about that. Now, okay, let's go to Job 2. Now we're going to deal with the people. Job 2:11, it says, "Now when Job's 3 friends heard all of this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite." Now, we could say that he's a Temanite. I actually have another view that he might be of the son of Ishmael, but if you go read, you'll find out. Well, we'll read that a little bit later, but Eliphaz the Temanite, that's how he says that Job is an Edomite, because of that. And then Bildad the Shuhite, but we never dealt with the Shuhite. Who is that? And Zophar the Nemthite. Now, I couldn't find out who the Nemthite was, but I found out who Bildad's people are. And it says, "For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him," because this is when Job was getting all the boils on him, and Satan was coming at him and whatnot. That's why they had came to him and tried to comfort him. But the Shuhite, right? Bildad is a Shuhite, right? Okay, let's go to Genesis 25:1. Genesis 25:1, it says, "Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran and Jokshan, and Medan and Midian, and Ishbak and Shua, the Shuhite." And it says, so Bildad is from Abraham's kids on Keturah, from Keturah's side. So Bildad is one of Abraham's kids. So he dwelt in the land of Uz with Job. So do that make Job one of these people? Well, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia, it is. And look, and Jokashan begot Sheba. We're going to deal with Sheba too, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asherim, and Letushim, and Leumim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abidah, and Eliadah. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac, right? But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son. Now listen to this. While they yet lived eastward unto the east country. So these are the children of the east, Abraham's kids, on Keturah's side. Let's go back to Job. Let's go to Job 1:15. Remember, okay, we know that Bildad is a Shuhite of Keturah's line, right? Also, they are the children of the east. Also, we read that Sheba is Jokshan's kid, right? Look at this. Job 1:15. Here's the Sheba right here, the Sabians. It says, "And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I am only escaped alone to tell thee." So this is, again, when Job was going through that affliction from Satan, and the Sabians, or Keturah's kids, Sheba, Jokshan's kid, coming at Job, right here. Let's go to World Book Thesaurus. Look, it says Sheba, an ancient country of southern Arabia, comprising present-day Yemen. Its people colonized Ethiopia. Keep that in mind about them colonizing Ethiopia, because we'll just let us know that this is the same Sheba we talking about. Genesis 25:3, it says, "And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim, Letushim, and Leumim." So again, Sheba, bam, right there. Let's go to Job 1:17. I'm just showing all the people who is the children of the east. I'm just showing all the people who is the children of the east. This is Job 1:17, and then I'll leave it at that. And then we're gonna show when we come back in the rebuttal, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show that Abraham was actually born in Ur of the Chaldees, and that's in the east as well. And the Chaldees in Job 1:17, let's just read that real quick. "While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, The Chaldees made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I am escaped alone to tell thee." So the Chaldeans came at Job too. All of them is in this area. And we're going to deal a little bit more on Sheba here shortly. And then when we come back, we're going to deal with Genesis chapter 11, dealing with Abraham, living in Ur. So I'm a yield right there, and we're going to also deal with the mingled people. We're going to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Because the Temanite is supposedly an Edomite, but I have another view that the Temanite could actually be one of the sons of Ishmael, and we're going to deal with that when we come back. So I yield with that. Thank you.
All right, once again, you're listening to Debate Talk Free Radio. The title of this debate was Job and Edomite. The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. Right about now, we're going to go on to Brother Josh for his opening statement. I have my Debate Talk for You promotion and marketing team right here with me. They're interacting in the chat room, on Twitter, on Facebook. Help me out. I appreciate my team. They're here with me right now, checking out the debate and enjoying the show. So let's go to the opening statement. Let me open up Brother Josh's phone line. Let me set the timer. And go ahead, Josh.
Thank you, Sal. I thank you, everybody else, again, for tuning in. I just find it odd and, it just boggles my mind that Hezekiah would go to the Catholic encyclopedia to establish a doctrine or a concept that's not mentioned in the Bible. In fact, he comes from a congregation that bashes Catholic doctrine left and right. So to go to a Catholic source to establish a doctrine, not nothing historical, mind you, but to establish a source that's not even, or to establish a concept that's not even mentioned in the Bible is a sheer act of desperation. And to do that in front of a predominantly Hebrew Israelite listening audience and with their views of Catholics, that was a bold move. It's almost like he just said, here, Josh, have the debate. Right there is yours. But I'm going to let the proof be in the pudding, right? When I did this show on Sal's show, I didn't even bring out all the sources I had. I did not go to the Septuagint. But I'm going to go to the Septuagint. But before I go to the Septuagint, I feel it's my responsibility to qualify the Septuagint so you can know that it was an Old Testament that our Hebrew forefathers were using and preaching from. But I'm going to use this through sources. First, I'm going to go to the Smith Bible Dictionary, and this is under Septuagint. It's on page 605. I'm going to read to you what it says, right? Can't read all of it, but just read the key points. It says, the Septuagint was highly esteemed by the Hellenistic Jews. Those are Greek-speaking Jews or Jews that practice Greek customs before the coming of Christ. Wherever, by the conquest by Alexander or by colonization, the Greek language prevailed, wherever Jews were settled, and the attention of the neighboring Gentiles was drawn to the wondrous history and law, there was found the Septuagint. So it was everywhere where Greek-speaking people were, which thus became, by divine providence, the means of spreading widely the knowledge of the one true God and his promise of a Savior to come throughout the nations. Look what it says here. Not less wide was the influence of the Septuagint in the spread of the gospel. This is the Old Testament that the disciples were teaching out of. And I'm going to prove that in the cross-examination, right? Look what it says. For a long period, the Septuagint was the Old Testament of the far larger part of the Christian church. So that means Jesus and his disciples were walking around with the Septuagint. That's the book they mainly teach out of, and I'm going to show you that in another source. Look what it says right here. The close connection between the Old and the New Testament makes the study of the Septuagint most valuable and indeed indispensable to the theological student. It was manifestly, listen to this, it was manifestly the chief storehouse from which the apostles drew their truths and precepts, meaning the apostles of the New Testament used the Septuagint to prove things that were written in the Old Testament and to teach people things out of the Old Testament, the Septuagint, right? So anybody who got a problem with the Septuagint, that means you got a problem with the apostles and Jesus because that's the Bible they were teaching out of. Let me show you that in another source. We're going to go to yet another Bible dictionary. This is called the Holman Bible Dictionary. And we're reading this under the heading of Septuagint. This is page 184. Look what it says about the Septuagint. A much more important source for textual history is the Septuagint. This is a Greek translation of the Old Testament made from about 250 to 100 BC. That's before New Testament time, or shortly thereafter. It was made in Alexandria, Egypt, which Josephus talks about, to meet the needs of Jews and others who wanted to read the Old Testament but lacked the facility to read Hebrew. Now, let me show you what it says about the Septuagint in this same book on page 1246. Look what it says right here on 1246 about the Septuagint. The same thing that my other source said. I want y'all to pay close attention to this, right? Because I didn't go to the Septuagint when I did this class, but I'm going to show you. We got to establish and qualify the Septuagint. And you can go online and do your own research, and you will find the same thing. 1246, Holman Bible Dictionary, Septuagint. Title meaning the 70. Oldest Greek translation of the Hebrew Old Testament. It also contains several apocryphal books. Most New Testament quotations of the Old Testament are from the Septuagint. And like I said, I'm going to prove that. So that means all of the disciples were walking around with the Septuagint. That's the book they teach out of the Hebrew Old Testament, which we get our King James from, called the Masoretic text, was mainly used for synagogue study and service. That's like the book they read from in the synagogue. But just everyday preaching and reading, Septuagint. Now that we have established that the Septuagint is the book that they taught out of, let's see what the Septuagint says about Job being an Edomite. What it plainly says. So we won't have to speculate, well, it might be this or it probably means that. We're going to go straight to the Septuagint, the book that your Lord and Savior used to teach people to battle Satan, the book that the apostles taught of. This is Job chapter 42. And this is after verse 17. The Septuagint contains some things that the King James does not contain, and vice versa. So if you have both, you'll get a well-rounded understanding of everything. This is Job 42, and this is after verse 17, right? Or we're going to start at verse 17. Look what it says. And Job died, an old man and full of days, and it is written that he will rise again with those whom the Lord raises up. Now, you know they believe in the resurrection. This man is described in the Syriac book as living in the land of Osseous, which is the Greek form of the word Uz, on the borders of Idumea and Arabia. Notice it's letting you know that our ancient Hebrew forefathers, which translated the Greek, the Hebrew into the Greek Septuagint, and put this in here from their understanding, because they did that in the Septuagint. Look what they say where he lived, Idumea and Arabia. Idumea is the Greek form of Edom. Right? So out goes, well, we don't know if it was in Edom. Out goes that little theory right now, Hezekiah. That's gone. Right? Look what it says right here. And his name before was Jobab. And having taken an Arabian wife, he begot a son whose name was Enon. And he himself was the son of his father Zer, one of the sons of Esau. It said that Job was one of the sons of Esau. His father's name was Zer, and he was the son of Zer, and his father was one of the sons of Esau, making Job an Edomite. This is in the Septuagint, which I keep repeating, the book that the disciples and Jesus Christ preached out of. That means they were walking around with a book that said Job was an Edomite. I don't read anywhere in the New Testament or in history where there was ever a dispute about that. Right? But look what it says right here. And his mother, Bosra, so that he was the fifth from Abraham. And these were the kings who reigned in Edom, which country he also ruled over. So about Job. First Balak, the son of Beor, and the name of his city was Dinabah. But after Balak, Jobab, who is called Job. Because, you know, the name Job means persecuted. Evidently, that's the name he got after he went through his tribulation, because he was persecuted, which makes sense, right? But look what it says right here. And his friends who came to visit him was Eliphaz of the children of Esau. So we know Eliphaz was of the children of Esau, king of the Temanites. Hezekiah just said, I got a view of Timon, Eliphaz the Temanite, which I might think he was a Arabian or an Ishmaelite. He said something like that. The Septuagint already don't set you straight, bro. He was of the children of Esau. So already, it's plainly stating in a historical source, well established and used by Hebrew forefathers, that Job was an Edomite. To be perfectly honest, this debate is really over. But I know how Hezekiah is, he gonna persist. But unless he can disprove and get rid of the Septuagint, which he can't because he had to get rid of the New Testament too, and I'm going to show you all that, he has to attack this because this is the book that they were using, right? And I proved that. It said, and his friends who came to him were Eliphaz of the children of Esau, king of the Temanites, Baldad, sovereign of the Salkians, Soper, king of Benaim. So this lets you know that these guys who came to visit him were also rulers, which makes sense if Job was a ruler. But it plainly told you that Job was of the sons of Esau, and where he lived at was, it said, Idumea, was on the borders of Idumea and Arabia. So we see already that it says that Job was an Edomite by blood and by residence. Now let's go to Job chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's read that. There was a man in the land of Uz, which we already proved was on the borders of Idumea and Arabia. And we already proved from the Septuagint, a historical book that our Hebrew forefathers used during New Testament times, including Jesus Christ. We can prove that too. Whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright and one that feared God and eschewed evil. It said he was in the land of Uz, right? He already went to Lamentations 4:21. Let's go to the Smith Bible Dictionary and look up what it says about Uz. Let's see where it says it is. Can't believe this dude went to the Catholic Encyclopedia. Are you kidding me? This is page 723. All the Catholic bashing that the Israel of God do. The Catholic did you all this. And then he hadn't even just talked, if you believe the Catholic Bible, Hezekiah, do you really think these 90% Hebrew Israelite audience believe anything the Catholics say? Come on, bro. Really? 723. This is 723. I mean, come on, man. Really? 723 in the Smith Bible Dictionary under the name of. Let's see where it says it was. 723. And they're going to also go into 724. Uz, the country in which Job lived. Job 1:1. As far as we can gather, the land of Uz lay either east or southeast of Palestine, which is Jerusalem, right? Job 1:3. Adjacent to the Sabaeans and the Chaldeans. Consequently, north of the southern Arabians and west of the Euphrates. And lastly, adjacent to the Edomites of Mount Seir, who at one period occupied Uz probably as conquerors. Lamentations 4:21. And these troglodyte habits are probably described, and their troglodyte habits, I mean dwelling in caves, are probably described in Job 36. From the above data, we infer that the land of Uz corresponds to the Arabian deserta of classical geography. Go back to the Septuagint. This man is described in the Sirach book as living in the land of Uz on the borders of Idumea and Arabia. Notice there is no question when you compare these sources with the Septuagint. This is where Edom lived, right? And look what it gave you as a reference for it. Lamentations 4:21. Job 1:1, right? So look what else it says. Of classical geography, in all events, so much of it lies north of 30th parallel of latitude. Getting on to all that geographic jargon, right? So let's look at another one. Let's go look up Uz in the Holman Bible Dictionary. This is page 1387. Looking at the word Uz. See, why would he go to the Catholic Encyclopedia when there are normal Bible dictionaries around? Because he knows they're going to agree with what I'm bringing out. The Catholic Encyclopedia. And now all they do is preach against Catholics. I don't even understand that. That just went over my head, right? You lost me with that one, Hezekiah. He said, if you believe it, do you believe it? You the one preaching it. The question is, do you believe it? You the one written up, do you believe it? This is page 1387 under Uz. Personal and place name, perhaps meaning replacement. 1. Unspecified territory, most likely in Haran, south of Damascus. That's the location mentioned in Jeremiah 25:20. Or else between Edom and northern Arabia. Job 1:1, Lamentations 4:21. Notice that the Septuagint, the Smith Bible Dictionary, and the Holman Bible Dictionary all say the same thing. Let's go to one more reference. Ehrman's Handbook to the Bible, under Uz, a town to the east of Palestine, in Edomite territory, or possibly in Haran, south of Damascus, Jeremiah 25:20. So as y'all can see, sisters and brothers, I have already proved from a well-established and believed document by our Hebrew forefathers and Jesus Christ himself that they were walking around with a book that said Job was an Edomite by blood and by location. The only way Hezekiah can get out of this is to dismiss the Septuagint entirely, which he cannot do because it's a well-established document used by our people, not the Catholic Encyclopedia. That's it for now.
All right, you're listening to Debate Talk for You Radio. The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. To all the international listeners, welcome to the show. I see you guys sending me a whole lot of emails right now. People listening overseas. And once again, if you want to call in later on during the public Q&A, make sure you use your Skype. That'll guarantee you to be able to ask your questions during the public Q&A. That's person number one once you call in via Skype. And I'll get your questions, and I'll take them, in order. I'm getting also some reviews that some people are having problems accessing the chat room. Actually, I contact Blog Talk Radio, and they're actually working on some of that technical difficulties. But I see some people actually still in the room right now. So, I guess as the show goes on, the improvements will, continue. All right, so now we're going into the rebuttal part of this debate. The rebuttal is going to be 10 minutes each. We're going to go back to Brother Hezekiah Ben Israel. Once again, that's 10 minutes each. Let me open up his phone line. Let me just set the timer, and you can go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Well, it looked like he put his whole faith in the Septuagint. You know what I'm saying? That's his Bible. Just like with Brother Bleedo and all these gainsayers with they Bibles over the Bible, because they want to use the Septuagint. They want to use concordances, all to prove they doctrine. Now, look what the Bible say about dealing with the Bible. We got the English Bible, right? I used the Catholic Encyclopedia to give you an idea that he could be. I didn't say, I'm not using it to prove. Didn't I say at the beginning of this show, I'm not here to prove where Job come from. I'm here to prove he ain't no Edomite. That's what I said at the beginning of the show. That's why I said that if you believe the Catholic Encyclopedia, it is what it is. It's a historical document, just like he used that Septuagint as a historical document. But actually, he used the Septuagint as it is a part of the Bible, which it is not. Isaiah 8:20. You got to use the Bible and use the resources. You understand? You don't merge the resources with the Bible. Everything has to line up with the Bible. You can't use the resource to be the Bible. And this is what he's doing with that Septuagint. But y'all can, it's up to you. Believe what you want to believe. I'm going to stick with this Bible that I got in this English language. Let's go to Isaiah 8:20, because I got to deal with this Septuagint situation, because I don't subscribe to the Septuagint, brothers and sisters. Just to let you know, I dealt with the Septuagint. I don't subscribe to it. I don't use it. So Isaiah 8:20, I'm going to show you why. Isaiah 8:20, it says, to the law, Old Testament, and to the testimony, New Testament. I used Jasher. It was a reference to show that it lines up with the Bible. If Jasher in any point does not line up with the Bible, I toss it out. You understand? I don't take anything over the Bible like this brother do. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Well, what's the light? Let's go look and see what the light is. Let's go over to 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 2 Corinthians 4. 2 Corinthians 4 and 5, it says, for we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. So, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no knowledge of the glory of God the Father in the face of Jesus Christ in them. And let's go to Isaiah 28 and verse 11. Isaiah chapter 28 and 11. Isaiah 28 and 11, and it says, for with stammering or strange lips and another tongue or language will he speak to this people. And look what else it says. To whom he said, this is the rest, that is in your own language, wherewith you may cause the weary to rest. You ain't got to go dealing with all that stuff, but if you want to be smart, go deal with that stuff. because you're going to be smart and deal with that stuff, and it's going to throw you off. Job was not an Edomite. He could not be an Edomite. You want to know why? Because the oracles of God were given to Israelites, or were given to of that line of Abraham. It wasn't given to no other people. The word of God was not given to Esau at all. So this has to be error on the Septuagint's part. But if you believe the Septuagint is the Bible, then go ahead and believe that malarkey. But anyway, it said this is the rest where you may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet he would not hear it. You ain't going to hear it. You understand? Let's go over to 1 Corinthians 14 and 21 to see what Paul had to say about it. 1 Corinthians 14 and 21. 1 Corinthians 14 and 21, and it says, in the law it is written, the law, the Old Testament, Isaiah, with men of other tongues and other lips, will he speak to this people? Yet for all that they will not hear me, saith the Lord. Now look what verse 22 says. Wherefore tongues or languages are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. And prophesying or reading this Bible in your language serveth not for them that believe not, but for them which believe. I believe this book. I'm dealing with this book. And I don't believe that this Bible supports Job being an Edomite. Now let's go and deal with what I wanted to deal with originally, but he want to play sling mud games instead of edification, and it's all good. Now, Genesis chapter 11, verse 27 says, now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. Now here go the mingled children. Listen to this. This is Jeremiah 25 and 20. And all the mingled people and the kings of the land of Uz, all the mingled people now, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashad, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the uttermost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwelt in the desert. Now look at this. This Job 6 and 19. The troops of Tema looked, the companies of Sheba waited for them. So that's Sheba with Keturah's kids. That's Tema, which is the son of Ishmael, which is that Temanite. And when we get into the cross-examination, we're going to deal with that Eliphaz and this particular situation here. But Genesis 25 and 15 says, Hadar and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah, these are the sons of Ishmael. So that Tema, the troops of Tema, and the companies of Sheba, which is Keturah's kids, that make more sense than the Edomite, because Ishmael was around Abraham's kid. He was sent away. Remember when he was 13 and all that, and he was around Keturah's kids. This makes more sense than the Edomite. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to read the part where, they would say that Eliphaz is the one of Esau's kid. It's Genesis 36, 2-4. It says, Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adar, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Alabama, the daughter of Anon, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Beshemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nejabath, and Adar bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Beshemath bare Ruah. So there go that Eliphaz situation. Then skip to the 15th verse, said, these were the dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, Duke Teman. So this is where he would get that he would be a Temanite. But when we get into the cross-examination, he's going to have to deal with these troops. That's what he's going to have to deal with. So with that, I yield.
All right, once again, you're now listening to Debate Talk for You Radio. The title of this debate, for those people that just joined in, was Job and Edomite. Was Job and Edomite? The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. All right, so we're going to go to Brother Josh right now with his rebuttal. That's going to be 10 minutes. Let me open up his phone line, and go ahead.
All right, thank you, Sal. And I just find it funny that Brother Hezekiah trying to come off like he's so intelligent and so studied, and yet he don't understand simple explanations. First of all, he keeps saying the Septuagint is Josh's Bible. No, brother. The Septuagint was a Greek translation of the Old Testament from Hebrew to Greek. I'm talking slow. Translated by our Hebrew forefathers during the time of the Greek Empire, because Greek was the universal language of the world. That was the main language. And it became the Old Testament of the Hebrew Israelites during the first century and the early end and the late end of the last century, BC. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not my Bible. Jesus used it. And I'm going to prove that to you in the cross-examination. I'm going to show you that they quoted from the Septuagint. So I'm trying to make it my Bible. That's that little deception Hezekiah, that little spin Hezekiah be trying to put on stuff. It ain't working, man. I've learned that the debate talk to you audience is very smart. But anyway, let me go to Job chapter 1, and let's deal with these people of the East. Because you don't understand that when the Bible says people of the East, it's written from a Hebrew Israelite perspective. If you read the book of Ezekiel, it said that God set Jerusalem, and Jerusalem to Israel, in the midst of all the country. So any type of geographic direction would be from the focal point of Israel. So when they say children of the East, that means the east of Israel, not the east of where Abraham started off and left. That's stupid. You follow what I'm saying? It's about from the focal point of Israel, right? Like if I say east of Atlanta, that's my focal point, because that's where I live. I'm not going to think east of Atlanta means east of New York, because that's not the same thing. But Job 1 and 2, look what it says about Job. It says Job 1 and verses 2 and 3. Look what it says. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen, 500 she-asses, and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. When we say men of the East, East is a direction. So if somebody is writing this, they have to be writing from a focal point of where they live. The Bible was written toward Hebrew Israelites. We all know that. Ain't nobody going to argue that. So when it says the children of the East, it must mean the East from wherever the Hebrew Israelites live. And let's read that. Let's go to Judges 6 and verses 1 to 3. See, the brother said, I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just here to prove he wasn't an Edomite. I've already shown through the Septuagint, which he tried to dismiss off, that's his Bible. That's his Bible. That's not my Bible. Do some research, brother. Come on, get out of that little box that you live in, man. Come out the box. Do some research. Both of my sources show that the Septuagint was used by Jesus Christ and the apostles. And I can prove that to you in the cross-examination, which I'm going to prove to you. It's Judges chapter 6, verses 1 to 3. And look what it says right here. Who are the children of the East? Also known as the people of the East, too. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. Those are the Midianites. You follow what I'm saying? Those are the descendants of Abraham through his wife Keturah. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. And so it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites, children of Abraham through Keturah, came up, and the Amalekites, descendants of Esau, Amalek, and the children of the East, even they came up against them. They are always associated with the children of the East, because the Midianites and the Edomites were living to the east of Israel, and that's established in any Bible dictionary. And then he said, I didn't go to the Catholic. I went to the Catholic encyclopedia for show a historical source. No, you did not get a historical source. You just showed us, and you can read it again, because I be listening. You just showed us who the Catholics believe Job came from. You did not say historically this, or based off of this, or whatever. Historically, there was not a historical view. That was who the Catholics believe he came from. That's what that was, bro, because you can't read that in the Bible. So you go to the Catholic Encyclopedia, how about a regular Bible dictionary first? Right? So let's go to Jeremiah 49:28. And be the first one to jump up, man. That's that Roman Catholic doctrine. Be the first one, and the first source he goes to that he calls a historical source is the Catholic Encyclopedia. Where else are you going to take us in the Catholic Encyclopedia tonight, Hezekiah? You going to use that to establish who Israel is next? You know what I'm saying? This is Jeremiah 49:28. Because we're proving lineages. We're proving bloodlines. You going to go ahead and prove Israel too? No, he wouldn't do that. Right? Jeremiah 49:28. Look what it says. Concerning Kedar, one of the sons of Ishmael, and concerning, which was the descendant of Abraham, and concerning the kingdom of Hazor, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, shall smite. Thus says the Lord, arise ye, and go up to Kedar, and spoil the men of the east. Every time you read about the men of the east in your Bible, it's either going to be an Ishmaelite, a Midianite, or an Edomite, from the focal point of Israel. You cannot go with Abraham and see Abraham dwell to the east. So when they say children of the east, that means east to wherever Abraham went. That's stupid. The east has to be from a set standpoint, not from a nomadic standpoint. Abraham was a nomad. A nomad, that means somebody who moved from one place into another until he settled in the land of Canaan. Right? The children of the east means children to the east of where the Hebrew Israelites dwell, sisters and brothers. We have to understand that. This brother is trying to go all over the place. He's trying to keep confusion going. He's like, I'm not here to prove anything. He sounds like that other brother when he was debating on the guy for rod of instruction. I don't have a view. I'm just here to say that Job wanted Edomite, and ironically, that's the dude he rolled with, too. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to get to the point of what something is, just want to prove what something isn't. The Greek Septuagint already said that Job was an Edomite. This is the Bible our Hebrew forefathers used. Let me read that again, because apparently it went over Hezekiah's head. Let's go to the Holman Bible Dictionary. This is Septuagint. I would have thought that my time would be close to running out, Sal. I can hear the doorbell. Sometimes, the doorbell don't sound. I'm still good, Sal?
It's still good. Getting close to 8 minutes. Good.
Okay, cool. 1246. Septuagint. Holman Bible Dictionary, right? Septuagint. Title meaning the 70 oldest Greek translation of the Hebrew Old Testament. It also contains several apocryphal books. Most New Testament quotations of the Old Testament are from the Septuagint. So if most of the New Testament writers quoted from the Septuagint, how does Hezekiah figure that's Joshua's Bible? How does he figure that? Jesus quoted from the Septuagint, which I'm going to prove. So how does this guy come up with the concept, this is Joshua's Bible? No, it was not my Bible. It was Jesus Christ's Bible. It was Paul's Bible. It was Peter, James, and John's Bible. You don't even know the history of your own Bible. The Bible we use right now is the Masoretic text. That came from the Hebrew. The Old Testament they used were mainly the Septuagint, except for synagogue service, which they used the Hebrew. So, brother, don't try to come on here and twist stuff around and put that little spin on things that you do. That doesn't work on me. You can't run game on me. You're not going to game your way through this debate, Hezekiah. You're going to have to prove stuff and be solid with it. Don't bring us no sources if you believe that. You don't even believe the Catholic Encyclopedia. Do you believe the Catholic Encyclopedia? That's what I want to know. I'm going to end it right here for now because I want to get to this cross-examination.
Okay, once again, you're locked into Debate Talk for You Radio. Once again, I appreciate all the people that's tuning in via phone. That's dialing the number 646-716-7320. I already see there's a couple questions in the queue. Once again, for those people that just joined in, if you have a question, all you got to do is press number 1, and I'll add you to the conversation later on during the public Q&A. If you press number 1 now, I'm going to go down in order and take your question. So we're getting closer and closer to the public Q&A, and of course, that's my favorite part of the show, so stay tuned. Right now, this is the cross-examination part of this debate. We're going to start off with Brother Hezekiah asking questions to Brother Josh. All right, so each person has prepared several questions to ask one another. So let's get this thing started. Let me open up both brothers' phone lines. This is going to be a 10-minute segment, and go ahead with your questions, brother.
I can go?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, here one of my questions. Is the troops of Teman, are they in the family of Eliphaz, the Temanite?
Are the troops of Teman in the family
Tema.
of Eliphaz?
Yeah, the Temanite. Yeah, are they in the family? The troops of Tema.
I would have to look it up.
All right.
Tema, T-E-M-A?
Yeah.
Just T-E-M-A? This is from the Smith Bible Dictionary. Let's look it up. T-E-M-A, Tema. It says the ninth son of Ishmael. So the answer would be no, if they're Tema. The ninth son of Ishmael, this is the definition it's given. It says, 1 Chronicles 1:30, I'm trying to hurry up and go fast, which the tribe called after him, mentioned in Job 6 and 19, Jeremiah 25 and 23, and also the land occupied by this tribe. So according to this, Tema and Teman are two different people.
All right. All right, I'm going to ask another question, and I'm going to come back to that question. All right, here's my other question. Where was Abraham dwelling when he sent the kids east? It's according to Genesis 23:1 and 2.
Genesis 23:1 and 2. Can we turn there? Give me a second. I'm trying to go fast. I don't want to eat up your time. Genesis 23 and 22?
23:1 and 2.
23:1 and 2. It says, and Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her.
So he was in Hebron, right?
It says, and Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same is Hebron. So he was there, Hebron, in the land of Canaan.
Right. So
which it is, right?
East of that would be us.
I agree.
Okay, so how could Joe be an Edomite if it was the Keturah's kids that he sent, plus Ishmael and his family?
Because all of them were living over there. All of them, the children of the east, as I showed in the book of Judges and in Jeremiah, it consists of the Midianites, Keturah's children, the Ishmaelites, and also Edomites. They all were considered the children of the east. They were all living over there, Hezekiah.
So, okay, back to the other question. So you saying the troops of Teman are not of the family of Eliphaz?
Exactly. According to the Bible dictionary, anybody who's of the tribe of Teman are called Temanites. Anybody who's from Tema are called Teman. That's why
so they call Temanites, Tema.
And here it is right here. Temanite.
Okay, yeah.
An inhabitant of
where you at?
I'm in the Bible dictionary. I'm looking it up in the Bible dictionary.
I was trying to find it in the Bible.
Right. Well, you can. It says it shows you where it's mentioned at, and you already went to those places. This is Temanite. It says an inhabitant of Teman, not Tema. So when you read Teman in the scriptures, that's the name of the son of Eliphaz, so his descendants are known as Temanites. When you read Tema, their descendants are known as Teman. That's what you said, right? Teman, right? Or Tema.
Well, I was saying that the team, when it's called Temanites, that's an Ishmaelite. That's not Eliphaz.
No, Temanites means inhabitant of Teman, or also in some dictionaries a descendant of Teman. That's who the Temanites are. But even so, even if Eliphaz was an Edomite, which according to the Ishmaelite, which according to the Septuagint, he was definitely from the son of Esau, because when you read about Temanites in the Bible, that means a descendant of Teman. But if he was just there by location, that still doesn't take away from the fact, because that's Ishmael, and they all were in that area. They all lived over there in that area. They are the children of the east. That's why we saying us is to the east. I don't disagree with that, Hezekiah. I agree with you on that.
Well, what I'm saying is that Tema, Eliphaz, you say Eliphaz is a Temanite. What I will need to find out, what I need to know is
I got another dictionary here.
Tema, what's word Tema? the Ishmael's son, where he at? Where he from?
Tema, whereas it says Tema. This is the Holman's Bible Dictionary. Tema, personal and place name meaning South Country. Tema is a son of Ishmael. Genesis 25:15, 1 Chronicles 1:30, is associated with Tema, modern Tamar, a strategic oasis located on the Arabian Peninsula. Right? No, any source you go to, Hezekiah, is not going to make Tema be from Eliphaz. Temanites are from Eliphaz. You're confusing the two names. Now, here's Temanites. Look what it says, right? Temanites, descendants of Teman, are resident of Teman, not Tema, right? The southern area of Edom. The land of the Temanites designates southern Edom. Genesis 36 and 34. The Temanites were renowned for their wisdom. Job 2 and 11. Notice it's giving you Job 2. That Eliphaz the Temanite, right? He's mentioned there. Then it says compare Jeremiah 49 and 7.
Okay, I got
so you're
another.
Confusing the two.
I got another question. The children of Dan, who are they called? They called what? The children of Dan.
Danites.
Okay, who are the children of Reuben called?
Reubenites.
Then what the children of Tema should be called then?
You're asking me what they should be called? There are sometimes.
Yeah, what are they called? They call some. If it's the Hivite, the Gittite, the Midite, the Ite, what they call?
One at a time.
Everybody don't get Ite. Okay.
Hezekiah, go, guys.
What I'm saying is they got to be called a people. You know, they got to be something. You know what I'm saying? The Hittites, you know, the Philistines. What is they? What's they plural?
Exactly, Philistines. You just answered your own question. Why aren't they called?
I'm saying, what's they plural? That's all I'm asking. What is they plural? Temas, they the Temas.
In the Hebrew,
one at a time, fellas. One at a time. Go ahead, Brother Josh, good answer. Go ahead.
Right. In the scriptures, Hezekiah, everybody don't get Ike at the end of their name. You just proved that when you said Philistines.
That's what I'm saying it in the plural. The plural. What is the plural of Tema?
The plural is Teman. That's the plural, or Temanim. Sometimes you get I-M on the end of a name to make it plural.
So Tema can be Teman, right? The plural, right?
Because when you
what's the plural of it?
When you look it up, it tells you who it is. Let's go to the Strongest Authors Concordance and look it up. All the sources, see what you're doing is you're reading these names and you're trying to make them be what
I'm not trying to make them be nothing. I'm just staying in my Bible. I'm not going way off and into these other books and puffing my mind up and thinking I can learn something. I let the book do the talking. And we in the English book. You understand? And you want to go to another book from another language that we ain't even dealing with. We dealing with this English King James Bible is what I deal with. So ultimately what this is going to come down to, listening audience, do you believe the Septuagint or do you believe your King James Bible? That's what it's all going to come down. I yield with that.
All right. Once again, you're listening to Debate Talk for You Radio. This is the cross-examination part of this debate. Right after the cross-examination, we're going to take a 5-minute intermission break, and after that, we're going to have a second rebuttal, and then after that, will be my favorite part of the show, the public Q&A, where you, the listening audience, will call in with your questions and your comments. I already see the switchboard lit up with questions right now. What I'm going to do is, once it's that time, I'm going to go down in order and take your questions. So don't press the number 1 again. If you pressed it already, stand by. I'm going to get to everybody here. And once again, for those people that's overseas, listening overseas, call in via Skype, and that'll guarantee you that you can have a question verbally right here on Debate Talk for You. So let's go to Brother Josh. Cross-examination is going to ask questions to Hezekiah ben Israel. Let me open up both brothers' phone lines, and go ahead. You got 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Sal. So, Hezekiah, you say it all comes down to whether you believe the King James or the Septuagint. Okay, that's fine. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's a sin to add to the Word of God?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you turn to Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 5, please? Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 5.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm there.
Okay, in Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 5, could you please read before the debate talk for you audience exactly what it says?
Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me.
It says, but a body has thou prepared me. Could you tell the debate talk for you audience what verse is he quoting?
Psalm 46 through 8.
Okay, could you go and read Psalm just 40 and verse 6, because that's the first part I had you read, Psalm 40 and verse 6. Could you turn there, please, in your Bible?
Psalm 46 through 8.
Right, keeping in mind.
All right, here we go. Verse 6.
Keeping in mind, wait a minute, keeping in mind that you just said it's a sin to add to the word of God. Keep
Right.
that in mind.
Right.
Psalm 40 and verse 6. Go ahead and read.
Sacrifice and offering thou didst not desire. Mine ears have thou opened. Burnt offerings and sin offering hast thou not required.
Okay, what part is missing that you read in the Hebrew in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament? What part did it leave out?
A body hast thou prepared for me.
So did the author of Hebrews add to the scriptures?
No.
Want
me to show you how? I'll show you why.
Wait a minute. Now, let me read Psalm 40 and 6 to you in the Septuagint, because I already proved that this is what they were using. Psalm 40 and 6 in the Septuagint. Sacrifice and offerings thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. A body hast thou prepared me. So we know that nobody who was a true servant of God would add to the word of God. He was making a quote. He was quoting the Septuagint. That's where that body part came from. Let me take you somewhere else. Would Jesus add to the scriptures? You think Jesus would add to the scriptures?
No.
Let's turn to Matthew chapter 4. I'm trying to get you to see that they were quoting the Septuagint, which the book I'm teaching out of. But you seem to have a problem with that, but the New Testament writers are using it. So if they can use it, and Jesus can use it, and the apostles can use it, I don't see why I can't use it. But this is Matthew chapter 4.
Because it wasn't sanctioned for you.
I mean, whatever. That's what you got to say. That's what you believe. You know
it wasn't. The Bible says what you're supposed to deal with. The King James Bible. This is for us. This is a salvation book. You understand what I'm saying? Let me. Hold on.
Let's get some order in here.
I'm still in the midst of my examination.
All right, well, go ahead and fill that out. But I can show you why it is the way it is. But go ahead.
I don't disagree with the King James Version Bible, bro. I never said that. So don't try to put that on me. I ain't saying that. I'm just showing you that it was more than one Old Testament in use in history. And I'm using both just like our Hebrew forefathers used both. That's all I'm saying, bro. Matthew chapter 4, and could you read verse 10 when he was rebuking the devil? Matthew chapter 4 and verse 10.
All right, Matthew 4 and 10. Hold up. Matthew 4 and 10, it says, Then said Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
What was he quoting right there?
Deuteronomy chapter 6.
And what verse?
I think like 12 or something, maybe 13.
You're close, 13. Could you read Deuteronomy 6 and 13 for us, please? In the King James. And I can do this all night. I can give you hundreds of times that this happens in the New Testament. But for the sake of time, I'll just give you 2.
All right. You said what? The Deuteronomy 6 and 13 you said it was?
Read that in the King James, please.
All right, 6 and 13. To say, Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God and serve him. Thou shalt swear by his name.
Now, does that sound like what Jesus quoted in Matthew chapter 4, being honest? Does that read the same way? That reads the same way. Fear the Lord thy God only. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. And Deuteronomy 6 and 13 says right here in the King James, Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God and swear and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Jesus didn't say anything about swearing by his name in the New Testament.
Right.
But let me show you how it reads in the Septuagint. Deuteronomy 6 and 13. He says, Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So he's quoting the Septuagint. The disciples and the New Testament writers were using mainly the Septuagint, which is exactly what my sources said, and which is exactly what I am showing you out of your own Bible. Otherwise, the New Testament writers are adding to the scriptures and changing them as they see fit. So when you go to your Old Testament quote, it says something different. So now let me ask you another question, Hezekiah. Based on the evidence and the sources that I presented, I ask you believe them, were the New Testament writers using the Septuagint?
I can't say that for a surety because I don't know one way or the other. I can't say that for a surety, honestly. They may have, they may not have. But let me interject just for a moment just to clarify why I am not, keen with that book. I just want to read a couple places real quick here, because
give me one, because that's eating up my time. Give me one.
Oh yeah, well I'm not trying to eat your time. I'm sorry. Hold on, just give me a second here. All right, hold on.
While you're looking for that, and when you find what you're looking for,
here it goes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here it goes. Right here, just this, and it says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the Scripture is of any private interpretation. Now, if we were to go to Revelation 19 and 10, it says the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So we don't get all the stuff in the Old Testament, and it don't make sense. You go to the New Testament to get the clarification. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord sent us this Bible in English for this time. If you want to be smart, use the Septuagint.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Is the Septuagint translated into English?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I was just reading it from English. Who translated the Septuagint from Hebrew to Greek?
I don't know, because I don't deal with the Septuagint. I deal with the English King James Bible. Because that's what the Lord prescribed to me, and I didn't leave it.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to believe that, what I'm saying is, here's the problem, Hezekiah. You don't know. That's my whole problem. You don't know, but yet you have a very strong opinion of things you know nothing of. It
ain't no opinion. The book says to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is no light in them.
The law and the testimony. The law is written in the Old Testament, and the Septuagint is the Old Testament. That is proven through history. You don't know about
Well, we got this King James Bible. What's so bad about this Old Testament? What's so bad about it?
I never said. They use the Masoretic text, too. They use both, Hezekiah. They use your King James Version Bible that you use. There's nothing wrong with it. They use the Masoretic text in synagogue service, like church service, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they use the Septuagint for everyday use. I'm not saying anything's wrong with either book. I'm just saying they use both, and when it comes to both of the books, some of them, one contains things that the other one doesn't, and vice versa. We know that everything in this Bible is not everything. They didn't record every single detail. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get you to see, Hezekiah, that I'm quoting from a book that the disciples and Jesus Christ quoted from. And if they quoted from that book and it says Job was an Edomite, then you or nobody else cannot jump up and say, well, I'm just dealing with the King James. That's your personal preference. I'm not knocking that. But the facts are still the facts. And the facts are they quoted from a book that said Job was an Edomite, which means that's the truth.
Well, I can't buy into that Job was an Edomite because his three Uzzes, Aram's kids, is the one who built the city. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. What you supposed to say?
I said we'll deal with that. I can show you that because it doesn't matter who built the city. It's the location, the references, the sources, the geographic sources that I showed what it was talking about. And
But we read in Genesis chapter 11, it said that the children...
Oh, Hezekiah, your phone is kind of acting up. I think we lost him.
Yeah, you sound like you were breaking up.
Yeah, we lost him. All right. It's like 9 minutes and 48 seconds anyway. So
I'll just go ahead and end my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and end my turn then.
Okay. All right. So, Hezekiah, you're going to have to call back in, brother. Call back in because there's some kind of technical difficulty going on. All right. Well, once again, you're listening to Debate Talk Free Radio. The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. All right, so right about now we're going to take a 5-minute intermission break. For those people that press the number 1, don't you go nowhere. Stand by. Do not press the number 1. I'm going to get to you guys during the public Q&A. We'll be right back after these messages. You're now listening to Debate Talk for You. Welcome to the Lions Den. So let's go to Brother Hez. Hopefully everything is working with the radio check. Let's check it out. Hold on for a second. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened. I was just talking still, and then I said hello, hello, and I was off, and then it was a fast busy, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's probably, Blog Talk.
Yeah, kicked me off. I know how that go. They do that all the time.
Yeah. All right, brother, so you got 7 minutes. You can go ahead, brother.
All right, yeah. So like I said, brothers and sisters, it's really all going to come down. If you want to believe the Septuagint, that's on you. You could believe that and believe that Job is an Edomite. But the oracles of God was given to Israel. You know what I'm saying? And if the oracles of God wasn't given directly to Israel, then that means the Quran should be used then. You know what I'm saying? Because the oracles of God was just given to Israelites, not Ishmaelites. You understand what I'm saying? Edomites. Because if Job was an Edomite, then that would kill the whole thing about Israel getting the oracles of God. It would kill that whole thing. I don't deal with, like I said, I deal with this King James Bible in the English language. This is what the Lord gave to me. You know what I'm saying? This is what the Lord gave to me. And through this English King James Bible and some history, and, you don't have to believe the Catholic Bible or the Catholic, encyclopedia or what have you. A lot in any encyclopedia is some good information and some bad information. Like in the encyclopedia, it says that them Edomites is the children of Israel, but you could tell the difference if you know what's going on. You could tell where Israel's history stops and where Edom's history begins. After 70 A.D., they stay in the land till 135 A.D., but that wasn't Israel in the land. That was Edom in the land until 135 A.D. Because if you notice, they began to have last names like Ali Barbar and all of that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, instead of the first name like how it was before 70 A.D., you know what I'm saying? So my point is the oracles of God was given to the Israelites. Everybody in this Bible is a Hebrew, an Israelite, from that line, you know what I'm saying? Edom, he get the fat of land. He's cursed. He can't. Israel the only one who got the spiritual stuff. Everybody else got the carnal stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I cannot subscribe to the Septuagint, because it's talking that Job is an Edomite, and that cannot be true based on what the book says. Israel had a thing, and it come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Job, if the book of Job is in the Bible, this brother had to be from Abraham's line. You know what I'm saying? Not from Jacob's son, Edom. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But, you could go to Bible dictionaries, this and that, but, the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit or the angel that come and give you the information, man, that's the one that's giving you the information and bringing it to your remembrance, man. It ain't got nothing to do with everybody searching out trying to be smart or any of that kind of stuff. But let me just finish this on up. This is from the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia, since, I use the Catholic Encyclopedia. And this, again, if you want to believe this, it says, the home of the patriarch Job, all the kings of the land of Uz. The land of Uz was no doubt the pasturing ground inhabited by one of the, hold on, 1 second. It says more than one tribe intended. It says the following it says, hold on. Okay, the following are determined data occurring in the book of Job in the Chaldeans and the Sabians. Job's three friends were a Temanite, a Namanite, and a Buzite, and Job himself is called one of the children of the east, one of the sons of Nahor. He inhabited Mesopotamia, a branch of the Sabians. Man, what is this stupid thing? I apologize, y'all. It's hard to read this. Okay, it says, hold on. It says the Sabians also appeared to have taken up its abode in northern Arabia. The meaning of the designation Amethite is unknown, but Shua was connected with Nahor. Shua is identified with Suhu, mentioned the journey from Carchemish, and the land of Uzzah is named by Shalmaneser. But the point I was trying to make in even reading this, it tells this International Standard Encyclopedia tells about Job, the Shuhite, Eliphaz or Elihu, the Buzite. You know what I'm saying? All these people is from Keturah's kids. You know what I'm saying? It's more Keturah's kids than it's Edom, and Keturah's kids control the land of Uz. You know what I'm saying? Through Aram, who they built the city, they controlled it. You know what I'm saying? Job could not be an Edomite. They did not control the land until after the children of the east, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's really simple as that. Do you believe the King James Bible or do you believe the Septuagint? It's simple as that. So with that, I yield. Thank you for the time.
All right. Once again, you're listening to Debate Talk for You Radio, Season 3. The title of this debate was Job an Edomite? Once again, my Debate Talk for You promotion and marketing team are here, networking on Twitter, Facebook. Help me out right now. Appreciate the family being here, supporting this particular show. And right after this is going to be the public Q&A where you, the listening audience, we're calling with your questions and your comments. So if you have a question, you feel free to call in. The number is 646-716-7320. Once again, for those people overseas, and I know you guys are listening because I'm getting the emails overseas in the UK and stuff like that, just call in via Skype, and that'll guarantee that you can get into the public Q&A. Call in via Skype, and it's person number 1, and I'll get you in conversation. So let's go to Brother Josh with his second rebuttal. And after that will be the public Q&A. So let's get this going. Let me open up Brother Josh's phone line. Then we set the timer, and you can go ahead, bro.
Thank you, Sal. I mean, I just find it funny when you listen to this dude, how he just be contradicting himself. First of all, he keeps saying the King James Version Bible was revealed to him. I mean, I'm not denying that because he got it. But that's all the Most High chose to reveal to you. Just like the book of Joshua that you called out on earlier wasn't necessarily revealed to everybody, but you went to it. You follow what I'm saying? My whole point is, you keep talking about the oracles of God was only revealed to Israel. That was at a certain time in history. Was Noah a Hebrew Israelite? No. The oracles of God was revealed to him. The oracles of God just doesn't mean God's will and what he wants you to do. Was Abraham a Hebrew Israelite? No. Abraham was called a Hebrew, and he was called a Hebrew because he was from Eber. So no, he was not an Israelite. The oracles of God were revealed to him. Was Enoch a Hebrew Israelite? No, but the oracles of God were revealed to him. It tells you in Jude that he prophesied. You can't prophesy unless you were inspired by God and God telling you something, right? So don't try to come with this, Job couldn't be an Edomite because the oracles of God were given to Israel. You can tell that he knows that Job was after Abraham, but before Jacob. So what he's trying to do is just try to obscure Job, leave him after Abraham, but before Israel, before Jacob, and just try to leave him floating in the abyss in the middle and try to keep everybody wondering what's going on. He keeps trying to say the Septuagint is not considered the oracles of God. If this brother would just pick up a book and do some research on the Septuagint, the Hebrews translate the Septuagint. Why does this brother have a problem with the King James, with the scriptures being translated into English, So that got a problem with the scripture being translated into Greek, which happened over 2,000 years ago. The Septuagint predates the King James Version Bible, bruh. It's much older, over 2,000 years older. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why this brother keep trying to make y'all think totally, he's trying to make it either or, either the Septuagint or the King James. No, they use both, bruh. And that's what history tells you. And the Septuagint says that Job was an Edomite. He even admitted, I don't know anything about the Septuagint. I don't ascribe to it. That's no excuse for ignorance, bro. Just because you don't believe something is no excuse for you to be ignorant about it. That just shows that you could be wrong because you simply don't know. I never dismiss or discredit anything that I know I've done no research on. And this is what Hezekiah is trying to get people to do. Hey, y'all, I've never read the Septuagint. I've never done research on it, but screw it. Let's not even deal with it. That's his mindset. That ain't how I operate. If that's how he operates, that's cool. I research stuff. He's comparing the Quran, sisters and brothers, Quran to the Septuagint. The Quran is talking about an entire different doctrine altogether. The Septuagint is a Greek translation of the Hebrew. How is that the same as the Quran? The Quran is not an Arabic translation of the Bible. The Quran is a different doctrine altogether. So that shows his ignorance. Anybody that will try to compare the Septuagint to the Quran is just ignorant. Because it's not the same concept. He has no problem with an English Bible, but he has a problem with a Greek Bible that was translated before his English Bible. Then he want to run and try to say, he want to make Teman and Tema be the same people. They are not the same people. So how do you pluralize it? Let me show y'all something. This is Psalms 83 and 6. And we love to read this. It's at the tabernacles of Edom. We know the plural of Edom is Edomite. Right? And the Ishmaelites, right? And Moabites. Look what it says right here. And the Hagarenes. Wait a minute. It didn't say Hagarites. It said Hagarenes. Every time a word is pluralized in the Bible, it's not necessarily going to get ice. It's going to sometimes get ooze. Just like with Philistine, the single will be Philistim. Look it up in Genesis chapter 10. One of Ham's sons, Philistim. Plural, Philistines with an S. So what he's trying to do is say, hey, if Tema, then Tema must be Temanite. No, Tema can just be Tema. You follow that? Or Temanin, or something like that. But they're not the same people. And when you look them up, they're not the same people. The Septuagint is clear on who Job was. If you notice, he couldn't explain why Jesus changed around the quote in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 6:13, thou shalt love the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. That's the New Testament. Deuteronomy 6 and 13 in the King James. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God and swear by him and fear his name. How do you figure that's the same thing? Then the brother just said it's a sin to change or add to the word of God. But the author of Hebrews added that if you don't like the Septuagint, if you dismiss the Septuagint, the author of Hebrews added that a body hast thou prepared me. Jesus twisted that whole Deuteronomy 6 and verse 13. You got atheists who notice this stuff and say, see, why do they read differently? And then all they got to do is know that a lot of times they were quoting the Septuagint. Luke chapter 4, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Compare that to Isaiah 61. And then compare it to Isaiah 61 in the Septuagint. Bottom line, sisters and brothers, Hezekiah's only defense against what I'm saying is, I just don't want to believe it. I just don't want to accept it. That's his only defense. That is weak, and I'm still waiting on this bloodbath and this massacre that you've been promising people on Facebook that you're going to give me. Because so far you've done nothing but disappointed me. This has been pathetic. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the bloodbath. I mean, when does it come? Is it going to come in your final statement? Is it going to come in the opening question and answer? I'm still waiting, bro. But that's all I got to say.
All right, this is it. This is the favorite part of the show. This is the part of the show where you, the listening audience, become the judge and the jury. Press the number 1, and, of course, I'll add you to the conversation. The number is 646-716-7320. What did you think about this debate? Was Job an Edomite? Was he not an Edomite? Feel free to call in and press the number 1. The number is 646-716-7320. I'm going to go down in order and take your questions. Remember, due to high volume of calls, I'm going to give everybody a limited time to say your comments and your questions, so use your time wisely. And, of course, say your name and where you're from, and then go into your question and your comment. I want to know where you guys are from, and because we got callers all across the globe, and just let people know where you're from and what's your name, and then go right into your question. So let's go to the people. Let's see what they got to say. First person up, 662-418. You're live on Debate Talk for You.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Welcome to the show.
All right. I just want to say greetings to you, both your panels. I'm from the Mississippi area, listening to Master Teacher, Brother Josh from the ABT clan. Good talk, Brother Hezekiah. I don't really have much to say, but it was a great debate. I think that Brother Josh really proved that the Septuagint is synthetic, and you really can't really run high. So I just hope that you humble your spirit, man, and accept it. Peace be.
I appreciate your call. Let's go to the next person real quick. Let's see, 402-650. You're live on Debate Talk for You. Say where you're from, what's your name, and go into your question or your comment. 502-650. You're live on the air.
Okay. Hey, my name is Alicia. I'm from Louisville. Shalom to everybody that's on the panel. I think everybody's doing a good job. I personally believe that Job was a Hebrew Israelite from my teachings, what I had got. And I just have a question for Brother Josh. If Job was a Edomite in chapter 30, verse 30, it says that my skin is black. Is there any other reference to any other Edomite in the Bible that describes Esau as being of a dark skin? And also, if the Most High said that he hated Esau, which is in Malachi chapter 1, verses 3 through 4, then why would he bless Job so much?
Okay, am I on? I'm ready? Okay. Well, see, here you asked a slew of questions, and I like that. First of all, if you read Job 30 and 30, down into Job 30 and 30, and when you read it, you'll see that Job was not making an assessment of his skin to confess that he's a black man. He was describing what he was going through. He was describing his skin condition. Remember, if you look at what happened to Job, it said God let sores go on the tip of the crown of his head to the soles of his feet. And if you read, this is the problem. And I'm not knocking you, sister, because you said what you were taught and this is what they're teaching you out here. If you read Job 30 and 30, if Job was saying that he was black, and like his describing his skin color in general, then he was complaining about being black. But if you read down into it, he's describing his suffering. That's why in that same verse, he said, my skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat. He was describing what he was going through and what his skin looked like during the suffering, the sores and stuff like that. Plus, also, in another study, I can prove that Edom was a black man, or Esau was a black man, just with red hair. I can prove that. And finally, when God said that he loved Jacob and hated Esau, that came much later after Esau had been abusing Israel. And plus, there was talking about Esau as a nation, not as an individual. What was going on with Job was way before that time. So we got to keep this stuff in historical context, and we got to ask ourselves, why would Job just come out the mid-blue and just say, I'm black? You got to ask yourself, why would he say that? Read down into that, and you'll see that he was giving a description of his sufferings, both physically and mentally. And that's my response to that.
So when the other Israelites in other books say that their skin is black, what is that? Is that also a part of the suffering?
Actually, it is. And you look that word up, or you can just look at the content. It's about, for instance, in Songs of Solomon. First of all, that's not even Solomon talking. That's one of Solomon's lovers. When Jeremiah said, I am black, if you look up that word, it means shamed or confounded. But you got to ask yourself, why would Jeremiah be just preaching the oracles of God and just out the mid-blue for no reason to say, I'm black, and then go right back to preaching the oracles of God? That doesn't make sense if he wasn't originally talking about his skin color. That wouldn't make sense. So when you look these words up, you'll see that people, sometimes as black people, we get overzealous, and we get so overzealous trying to find color in the Bible to prove that Israel was black, that we just take anything. I believe Israel was black. Let me get that straight. But a lot of the scriptures that people use to try to establish that is not even talking about skin color at all. It's just talking about what they're going through.
Yeah, 502. I appreciate your call. Got to go to the next person, though. Let me get Hezekiah's response, though. Go ahead, Hez.
Yeah, well, I agree with the sister as far as the color thing, because why would you describe yourself as a color when you're going through something? You know what I'm saying? When I'm hot, I'm hot. You know what I'm saying? You don't describe yourself, I'm black because the sun, no, he black and that heat beating down on him. And if you black, you know when that heat beat down on you, it's hot. So I just don't think it had nothing to do with what he was going through. He was stating, I'm a black dude, I'm black, my skin color is black, and it's hot because the sun is beating down on me. Plus, I got these boils all over me. Man, it's terrible. So that's what I see in it, you know what I'm saying? So I yield with that.
All right, let's go to the next person. We got a lot of callers out here. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. Let your voice be heard. If you have a question, just press the number 1. And, of course, I'll add you to the conversation. This is the public Q&A time. Let's go to the next person here. 870-755. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Peace, how you doing? It's Carl Albert. It's Real Dr. M CEO. All right, I'm going to interject this. And then I'm going to get to my questioning and stuff. Josh, Carl Albert has nothing to do with your debate, so don't be making no direct or indirect statements about me. I done told you that before. You can say your propaganda if you got a problem with me and you want to debate me on something, then just debate me or whatever. Or talk to me. Don't talk to the public or Hezekiah. Me and him don't run together, so quit bearing false witness. With that said, got that off my chest. Now, you said that he know that Job is after Abraham, yet before Israel or Jacob. Jacob and Esau are twins, so he's not before Jacob if Jacob is the twin of his forefather Esau, which making him an Edomite from your argument. So
right.
You made that statement earlier. You're way off balance with that statement. And then outside of that,
hold on.
Let's deal with it. Go ahead. Deal with it.
Let me interject. I said what he's trying to do is make Job be obscure between Abraham but before Israel. That's what he's trying to do. If I said that Job was before Israel, then that was a slip of the tongue or a mistake. Job had to come after Jacob, because Jacob and Esau were twin brothers. And that means he's a descendant of Esau. So if I say
I take it as a slip of the tongue. I take it as a slip of the tongue. I take it as a slip of the tongue.
Let me finish. When I say before Israel, I mean before Israel, like as a nation coming up out of Egypt and doing all of that stuff. That's what I'm talking about. So let me clarify myself. You follow what I'm saying?
I'm cool with that.
Also, Carl, just to address you directly, you come on here and you say keep my name off the mouth of propaganda, but you aren't, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't you the same brother that did a whole show on me, on your show?
Yes, because on the show that you was doing then, talking about how people doing this just like you did the show with GMS last night and all that, and people flagging your YouTube and stuff, you're making indirect statements about me when you could direct your statements to me. Call me, hit me up on Facebook or whatever.
Last night?
No, I'm saying right now. You just said Hezekiah run with the guy that. Hold up. Let me finish. So you can be clear. Hold up. Let me state this so you can get it clearly, and the audience won't be confused like the last time we talked. You just told Hezekiah in the audience that he run with the guy that was debating the rod of correction about Esau. Hold up.
Y'all got a show together?
Hold up.
That's what I meant.
No, we don't have a show together. We don't have a show together.
Said. He said in his introduction.
If that's the case, I run with Sal, because I come to his show. I talk on his show. He come to my show, just like people say he come over to Powell talk and listen to you. But you can ask Saul and ask Sal and ask him if we run together.
Why don't you ask Hezekiah what he said? He said,
hold
I
up,
also have a show with Carl Albert. That's what he said.
Hold up.
He didn't say Carl Albert comes on my show sometimes. You have a show with Carl Albert. Did he not, Hezekiah? Did you say that? Did you say that, Hezekiah?
Sorry, I had my phone on mute. No, I didn't say that. I said we have a show called Israel Doctrine with Carl Albert.
That's the same thing. I have a show with Carl Albert.
So,
That's
but
hold
up.
No, it's a specific show directed for him.
Hezekiah, one sec. Sal, let me talk. So I thank you, Sal. Just let me say this one thing. Carl Albert has nothing to do with Job being a Hebrew Israelite, which is not a person or a people at all. Job being a Hebrew Israelite or Edomite. So don't bring me up in the conversation. If Hezekiah did it, then that's his fault. I address him on that. Just like you addressed me and said I brought up the Israel of God, and you followed on after that. So if I'm not a part of the debate, don't bring me up in no shape, form, or fashion. I'm just telling you that. Thank you for letting me talk, Sal.
Okay, can I address that? Hello? Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can address it. You can address it.
Oh, okay, because it just got real quiet all of a sudden. First of all, what I said is I made a reference. I said, first Hezekiah said, and he just repeated it. I don't know why these guys trying to play semantics. He just said, I have a show with Carl Albert, a show called Israelite Doctrine with Carl Albert. I don't know what grammar school y'all came from, but the grammar and what you said suggests that you and him do a show together. And I know Hezekiah is not going to do a show with somebody who he's not on one accord with. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I know he's not going to do that. Second of all, when he said that, there was when I made the reference to Carl Albert, first of all, I didn't even, if I did say his name, it don't make a difference to me. I said that's the same thing another brother did on Debate Talk for You. What we're trying to establish is either something is or something isn't. We are not here to try to obscure anything. That's not, at least I can speak for myself, that's not what I'm trying here to do. So I was making a reference to how Carl Albert did the same thing on a similar debate concerning Esau, saying he don't have a particular stance. And I think that is disgusting because these people did not come here to listen to what something isn't or to be left more confused than when they showed up. They want to know what something is if it can be proven. So Carl Albert gets all bent out of shape anytime somebody makes a reference to something he did, even if it's a point of reference, and then he wants to get mad, and then the brother go on his show and do a whole show about you on his show. You follow what I'm saying? So, I mean, he can try to play this all he wants to try to make like somebody abusing him or doing everything, but everybody know what the brother does, and I ain't got nothing but love for him, but that's all I was saying. You follow what I'm saying? So, Hez, you can respond to that.
Yeah, guys, you can reply.
Yeah, I don't have no response to that. That's strife. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
All right, let's move on to the next person. Once again, you're listening to Debate Talk for You Radio. The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. The title of this debate was Job and Edomite. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Feel free to call in. Once again, just call in and press the number 1, and I'll add you to the conversation. Let's go to the next person here. 678-544. You're live on Debate Talk for You.
Hey, Shalom, my ward is Sportsman. What's going on? Yeah, I want to say this to Josh, right? This is Romans 9th chapter and the 3rd verse. For I could wish that myself were cursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, and the service of God. Okay? Job was a prophet. You cannot be of no other nation unless you're an Israelite to be a prophet. Okay? So Job was not no Edomite. And stop talking that blasphemy. That's all I want to say. Shalom.
Shalom. Josh, real quick reply, brother. That.
Okay, once again, these folks just don't have any understanding or they're not paying attention. He said you cannot be a prophet unless you're an Edomite. Unless you're an Israelite. Last time I checked, Enoch was not an Israelite, and he was a prophet. Last time I checked, Noah was a prophet. He was not an Israelite. See, they don't understand that there are certain times in history where God was working with individuals until he decided to give everything to Israel as a nation, and he jump-started that with Abraham. Then you got Abraham, and then you had Isaac. The Bible even said that Abraham was a prophet. Remember when that king was about to sleep with his wife? He said, restore this man's wife to him, for he is a prophet. Abraham was not a Hebrew Israelite. He was simply a Hebrew, and that was because he was a descendant of Eber. So God was dealing with people as individuals before he chose Israel as a nation. And if you notice, they never addressed Noah, they never addressed Enoch, and they never addressed Abraham, just Abraham in general, before there was an Isaac and a Jacob. Abraham wasn't an Israelite, and the Bible says he was a prophet. So you need to stop blaspheming, bro, and stop going against the scriptures, because God was calling people prophets and implied that they were prophets long before Israel came on the scene as a nation.
All right, you can reply.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to anything like that where, it ain't blasphemy to say Job is an Edomite, in my opinion. But he ain't no Edomite, It came from a certain line of people, Back in the day when they was called the sons of God, it was through that line, you know what I'm saying? That's the line that Job came through, that line. Abraham, Noah, all of them come down that line. No other line was given in the oracles of God. No other line was. You know what I'm saying? So, and also he hated Esau, just like that sister said earlier. It just doesn't line up with the King James English Bible that we were given by God. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, do you believe the Septuagint or do you believe your English King James Bible that you was born understanding? You know what I'm saying? English. And yeah, I'm understanding the Septuagint was translated from Hebrew to Greek to English. You know what I'm saying? But it's not lining up with this English King James Bible, and if it can't line up with this Bible, then toss it out. I use the book of Jasher, yeah, but if it don't line up with the Bible, then I'm tossing out that what don't line up. It's simple as that. So.
All right, once again, we got plenty more time for more questions. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. Don't be shy. Feel free to call in. This is your time. This is your time to call in. Once again, it's person number 1, and I'll gladly add you into the conversation. The title of this debate was Job and Edomite. We got plenty of more time. Let's go to the next person here. Let's see. 708-705. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Yeah, this is Brother Marcel. I taught a lesson Monday, and I had to cut out earlier due to an emergency situation.
Hey,
and
what's going on, brother?
What's going on, Sal? What's going on, everybody? I checked out the archive, and the brother Hezekiah misrepresented me. He got the saying I'm floating with every doctrine, and I'm taking all this information from people. I just wanted to add, I've never spoke to the brother LaRon a day before in my life, before that day. Never spoke to him before. And me and the brother Bleedo, we talk, we be on Facebook, but me and him even disagree. You know what I'm saying? And then today, the brother still got the brother Bleedo name in his mouth. I don't understand it. You are an elder. Take this loss like an elder. Take this loss like a man. You know what I'm saying? ABT, Brother Josh, you doing your thing. Keep on drilling them. That's all I got to say. Peace.
I appreciate your call. Brother Hez, you can reply. Go ahead.
Yeah, but all I was saying with you is tossed to and fro with everyone the doctrine based on your belief system. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. And I'm saying you toss to and fro dealing with them brothers on Facebook, and I toss the name Bleedo or what have you out there. You know what I'm saying? Whether you deal with them or not is no consequence to me. If you want an apology for me putting your name and his name together, by all means, I apologize. I have no problem with it. But, as far as me taking this as a loss, I don't take it as a loss. I take it as this is a showdown between the King James Bible and the Septuagint. What you going to deal with? You going to deal with the Septuagint or you going to deal with the King James Bible? Simple as that. So I yield.
Yeah, 708, you still on?
Yeah, it's cool, brother. I just, at the end of the day, I don't, I'm humble and I'm learning, so I can listen. I listen to people. I listen to you, but that don't mean I receive everything everybody's telling me. You know what I'm saying? I get my knowledge and everything from the Holy Spirit, and if I'm corrected, I'm corrected, and I'm going to think, teach, and act different. And then you said something about God dealing with Israel or something. I do have a question though. Rahab the prostitute, she wasn't an Israelite, and she is like mentioned as one of the heroes of faith in the book of Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like everybody just stuck on you got to be an Israelite or God ain't dealing with you. You know, I mean, so, man, God was dealing with Gentiles or strangers or non-Hebrew Israelites. Y'all just got to accept it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you could comment on that, but, you know, after that, you know, I'm through.
All right, Brother Hez, you can reply, and I'm going to let Brother Josh go after you. Go ahead, Hez, you can reply.
Yeah. Like I said again, it wasn't my intention to misrepresent you, but you know, from what I know as far as the scriptures is concerned, you displayed the characteristics of one that's being tossed to and fro. You say you ain't and you learning, that's good. And I'm humble enough to apologize if I offended you, because it says that if any man offend in word, if any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man. So if I offended you in the statement I made, I will retract the statement, and I do apologize in that regard. And I yield with that.
Brother Josh?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. I just want to just on the Hezekiah said. See, what he's trying to do is he's trying to make this debate be what he wants it to be. He's trying to say it's a showdown between the Septuagint and the King James. And that's, I mean, no insult to the brother. That's just an idiotic statement when the King James, or what the King James came from, and the Septuagint has existed side by side as Bibles that people were referencing from both out of the Masoretic text and the Septuagint for years. I mean, thousands of years. And now all of a sudden today, since Hezekiah never heard about the Septuagint before today, or have no understanding of it, I should say, because I'm pretty sure you hear about stuff just in passing. Now he wants to make it seem like, well, God said only the King James. Then I'm going, first of all, there's nowhere in this Bible where God says King James Version Bible only. I've never read that. I've never read what God said NIV only or NLBT or whatever Bible version you use. But one thing I do know is that I can go into history and I can prove from history that the Septuagint was being used before the King.
Oh, we just lost Brother Josh. We just lost him. Brother Josh, make sure you call back. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. Brother Josh, when you call in, it's person number 1. All right, and meanwhile, let's go to the next person here. Let's see who's next on the switchboard. 314-680. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
What's up, Brother Si? This is LaRon Campbell once again, and, calling from St. Louis. Basically, Hezekiah, brother, I love you, man. I just wanted to let you know that. Brother Josh, you did an excellent job. I love you too, brother. But one thing about it is, man, I kill these comedics with this all day long. And Hezekiah, you may want to study that Septuagint, because the Septuagint was before the Masoretic text. And the Masoretic text, reason why they used it was because they didn't want a Greek Bible. So a lot of races, Hebrews came together, and they wanted to make a Masoretic text, and they was in the same area of, we don't want no Greek text, so that's why they did that. The Septuagint lines directly up also with the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls was a little bit after the Septuagint, and Josh did an excellent job because he was right, because Jesus was quoting from the Septuagint, and they rarely even spoke in their Hebrew tongue in Israel at that time. That's when that's why when Paul came forth and he spoke in his Hebrew tongue, they gave more attentive and listened, because they were speaking in Greek at that time, because the Grecian Empire had taken over in the days before the Romans came, and Greek became a worldwide language. So you might want to get off into that Septuagint, because you can use that to get at these comedics when they come at you talking all this crazy stuff, talking about that the King James or it's a BC, or the Bible is an AD written in AD instead of BC. So with that, man, you might want to get off into that, man, because that's going to help you a lot. And with that, you gotta let go of that racist stuff, man. That's basically what's going on with you, brother. You got a lot of racism in you, and you don't even know if you is real. To keep it real, a lot of these guys don't even know if they is real. So it's like saying you're blood and you never got jumped in. You brothers better start having some DNA papers for me, because I need to see that. And I'm a year with that.
All right, let's go to Brother Az. You can reply, brother.
Yeah, man. Again, y'all be smart. Go ahead and be smart. I'm gonna stick with the King James Bible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go ahead and venture out and let other things change your mind about what the King James Bible say. You can do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want those things to change my mind on the King James Bible, because this is where I got my information from, and y'all trying to tell me that this ain't the word of God. That is what you telling me when you tell me that I need to go to the Septuagint, which says that Job is an Edomite, which is not true according to the Bible. You can't get it out the King James Bible, then it ain't true. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. Now, y'all want to be smart and learn something, go holler at Josh over at ABT. Y'all want to learn and be smart and have all this knowledge and be able to do what you do or what have you, go ahead over there. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But if you want to deal with the King James Bible and have references of other books, King James Bible be the Word of God, come holler at me, because that's what I deal with. What I notice is that a lot of these brothers, they lack the fruit of the Spirit. They don't even understand what it is. I rarely see any of them teaching any lessons on it. So, for you to call me racist, that's an oxymoron. You understand? And that's fine if you want to call me racist. That's fine. I just stick with what the Bible say. That's it. That's it. Let me read this, and then I'll yield with this. I got to go back to this, and this is where I'm stuck at. I'm stuck with this. This is 1 Corinthians 14:22. It says, "Wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. But prophesying serveth not for them that believe not, but for them which believe." If you believe, all you need is this, King James, brothers and sisters, if you believe. If you want to be smart, go deal with the Septuagint and all that other stuff and build you a doctrine. See how long it lasts. I yield with that.
All right, for Josh, you can reply.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I reach my phone time limit, Sal. You know how I do. You know what I'm saying? I think it's actually built in there. Anyway, right, first of all, he said that Job being an Edomite cannot be proven from the Bible. If you go to the archives, I have a lesson titled Job was an Edomite proved strictly or only from the Bible. It says he was from the land of Uz, right? We looking up these words. See, Hezekiah come from a congregation, and I come from that same congregation. It's called the Israel of God. And they discourage these kind of things. Why? I don't know. And I'm telling the truth. We come from the same state of mind. We came from the same school of thought. There is nothing Hezekiah can put out here from the Israel of God that I don't already know. And I'm not bashing the Israel of God. I'm just letting everybody know we come from the same state of mind. Just to give people a little background on each of us, right? When he keeps saying you can't prove that from the Bible, no, that can be proven from the Bible, bro. Job was from the land of Uz. The people of the East are clear. You even agree with that, Hezekiah, that Uz is the people of the East. And the scriptures show you that the people of the East are Edom, Ishmael, and Midianite. I even said in my class I did on this topic. I said if Job was not an Edomite, then he had to be an Arab or an Ishmaelite, because those are the only people from the East, not Israel. That's what I said. So if you get rid of the Septuagint, you still cannot make Job be a Hebrew Israelite. He's going to be left in a Midianite or an Arab. And I even said that in my other class, if you take the Septuagint out. So what you have to understand here is if y'all want to be smart, go to ABT. If y'all want to deal with the King James, go look at my videos, bro, on YouTube. How often do I bust out the Septuagint? I am 99.9% King James. But I'm not trying to tell anybody to venture in anything new. I'm trying to get our people to venture back. Our people. You know, you claim you're Israelite. Look at the history of your people, bro. Your people use the Septuagint. Why do you have a problem with it? Unless you're not really an Israelite. You're a Jacobite, unless that's the case. So don't try to play that little spin. You always have to put a little spin on something, bro. If you want to be smart, yeah, these people want to be smart, but I don't teach smart. I teach wisdom. I teach understanding. So don't try to do, you know, you can just leave your little sarcasm, bro. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Hez, you're still on. You want to reply? Go ahead.
No, I ain't going to reply to that. He can go ahead and fight and do all that. I'm good. All I'm just going to say this. I'll say this here. If you want to deal with the King James Bible and not have to deal with all this extra stuff, you can come holler at me. You want to deal with the Septuagint and all of that extra stuff, you go out there and you go get smart and see if will your knowledge get you into the kingdom. Will all that knowledge, because all that knowledge you can still go to the lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? Job is not an Edomite. Simple. Can't be proven from the Bible. He didn't even address Bildad, the Shuhite, who was one of Job's friends. So, you know, I just yield with that, man. The case really closed, you know what I'm saying? But I want to hear some more from the listening audience. If y'all want to call in or whatever and ask some more questions or whatever, I'm game. I'm just sitting here listening. Go ahead.
All right, once again, we got plenty more time. Usually this is a 35-minute segment, but, you know, I like hearing from the people. So I'm going to try to get to as much people as possible. Right now we're 29 minutes into this particular segment. But I'm going to go, you know, past 35 minutes. So once again, if you have any further questions, you know the number, 646-716-7320. Once again, state where you're from, say your name, and go into your question and your comment. Let's go to the people. Let's see what they got to say. 318-471. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Hello, is that me? It sounds like you said 318 and I'm 718.
Nah, 718, I got you. Yeah.
Oh, all right, my fault. All right, this is Felix from New York, student at ABT. I just wanted to prove the Septuagint even more so. So this question is like two questions. I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm going to just go straight from memory because I don't really have internet access right now. Hezekiah, you remember when Jesus said, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, thou hast perfected praise?
Say again.
Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou perfected praise. And don't quote me exactly because I'm going off of straight memory.
Okay. You
remember that?
Well, I can't say I remember, but go ahead with your point.
Okay, all right. So the simple point was, when you look it up in Psalms 8 and 2, I believe, I'm pretty sure it is. It says, "Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength." And so you know, I went looking like where else could where did he get this from? Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou perfected praise. And in every text I found, it says ordained strength. Every Old Testament Psalms text I found says thou hast ordained strength. The only place is the Septuagint where it says exactly how Christ said it. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings hast thou perfected praise. And only in the Septuagint is it worded exactly like that. In the King James Masoretic text, it says ordained strength, and basically every other codex or manuscript I seen says ordained strength. Only the Septuagint says thou hast perfected praise. And like Josh said earlier, there's a whole bunch. It's like a whole lot of references where you can see that Christ himself and the apostles and New Testament writers, they all quoted from the Septuagint, like exclusively. What I mean to say is you can tell that they quoted from the Septuagint rather than the Masoretic text, which we the King James Version Bible was derived from. I had another question, but I just got into something I wasn't even expecting to go on. But so I'll just leave it at that. I feel like Brother Josh, he won his debate hands down, and that's that. Shabbat shalom.
All right, Brother, you can reply. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. I respect your thought process, you know what I'm saying? I just deal with the King James Bible. What it is a separation of text. You know what I'm saying? You want to deal with that text, you deal with that Septuagint text. I'm going to deal with the King James. It's as simple as that. If the Septuagint is saying that Job is an Edomite, I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to eat what the Bible says. Now, if you show me in this Bible that Job is an Edomite, then I could change my mind. But it ain't going to say that in this Bible. It ain't going to say that. I studied that out immensely, and you ain't going to find that in the Bible. You can try to put your mouth on it and spin it, but you ain't going to find it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going with. I kind of figured this would be something to have to do with a different text as opposed to us sticking into this Bible. Now, if we was to go blow, this is where we should have went. We should have both stayed in the Bible. But he went to another text, and that threw the whole debate off. If we would have both stuck in the King James Bible, then it would have been really win or loss. But win or loss don't really matter. It's edification. So I'll just say that if you think he won, that's fine. Everybody entitled to their opinion. It is what it is. I yield.
All right, good, Josh. You on?
I'm just stunned because I be listening to this dude, and I'm like, it's not win or loss. Now he's saying there's not win or loss, but on Facebook he was promising bloodbaths and massacres, but now it's not about win or loss. It's about education. This dude is so funny to me. You know what I'm saying? How he tried to just put on this show. At least I'm consistently Brother Josh. I'm not Brother Josh. I don't have a Facebook persona of Brother Josh and then a debate talk with you persona of Brother Josh or a YouTube persona. I'm Brother Josh, the same guy, all day, every day. Now it's not about win or loss. Then the brother said we should have stayed in the King James, but he went to Jasher. Jasher, last time I checked, is not a King James Version Bible book. It's referenced in the King James Version Bible, true, but it's not a King James Version Bible book. So you can't say we should have did that and you the first one to violate your own thought process. The bottom line is this. The brother called in, he gave you something about the Septuagint. We're proving to you that Jesus Christ and the apostles used the Septuagint. You keep saying if y'all want to be smart, go to ABT. Now, let's rephrase that. If you want to be more like Jesus Christ and the apostles, then come to ABT because we're doing what they did. They used the Septuagint and the Masoretic, and we use both. If you were running with them back then, Hezekiah, you would be using both. You're going to stand next to Jesus and tell Jesus, hey, I'm just standing with the Masoretic. So you better than Jesus Christ now? He quote from the Septuagint, but it ain't good enough for you. You don't even understand the stuff you be implying when you say stuff like that. This is the reason why these brothers are saying you lost the debate, because they can see the hypocrisy and the stubbornness to do research in what you're saying, bro. But I'm still waiting for that bloodbath that you promised me, that massacre. Now it just seems like you just laying back and just whining. I want a bloodbath and a massacre. That's what you promised the public. Deliver, please.
Hey, still on, Ez.
Oh, well, the bloodbath is already given. Just because you don't feel the stab wounds don't mean it didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? The book is clear on who it is. You know what I'm saying? So you go to your Masoretic or your Septuagint. I'm going to deal with the King James, dude. That's all it is. That's all it is. And you could call me, what you say I was, said I was something. But the blood, go ahead. What you say I was?
I tell the truth, I forget. I said you have two personas.
You said I got some personas. This the same thing I would say on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It's just I could word it probably better on Facebook because you got time to think and type on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But here it's just the spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's leading the conversation here.
But you're saying a bloodbath, and the people, I'm just saying, it ain't about, like you said, now you're saying it's not about win or lose. When you say stuff like there's going to be a bloodbath, that is proclaiming victory, proclaiming a win.
Well, it is. Well, y'all want to make a win-loss. The Bible won. The Bible won. The Bible won. The Bible won.
You didn't say the Bible was going to do it. You said, I'm going to defeat your teacher. There's going to be a bloodbath. Those were your words. Now you're getting on here and saying it's about edification. It's not win or loss. If that's the case, then why didn't you say that on Facebook?
It was always about edification. Look here. You are taking words out of context and bringing them in. We ain't even talking about Job no more. You're talking about my character. This is what you do. All you do is criticize people's characters as opposed to dealing with what's going on the table.
I'm not criticizing.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all you do is you're the character assassinator. Your whole class is a character assassinator.
You didn't
now
say that?
dig this. We dealing with the Bible, right? Let's deal with the Bible. Let's deal with the book.
All I'm saying is, bro, keep it real. That's all I'm saying. Keep it real.
Let's go to the callers. We got a whole lot of callers here. We got to get to the people. So, once again, you know the number, 646-716-7320. The title of this debate was Job an Edomite. Was Job an Edomite? So far, it's been a good debate. Let me know what you thought about this debate, guys. That's the number one, and I'll add you to the conversation. Let's go to the next person. 408-394. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Hey, what's up? Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Hey, shalom.
How's it going? Hey, what's up, Josh? This is Abdul, man. I kind of came to the debate late, so only thing I was addressing was the comment about the Septuagint, and the reason why I'm addressing the Septuagint is because that's pretty much all I heard. I'm gonna go back and circle back and listen to the rest of the debate later on. Anyhow, addressing the Septuagint, I know Josh put up a bunch of classes out there, and he dealt with the Septuagint extensively, and in my own research, I looked into the Septuagint, and what I noticed was there were some apparent contradictions in the King James Bible. I'm not saying there were just contradictions in the King James Bible.
Coming in kind of broken up. Coming broken up. Say it again. Try it again. Go ahead. You're coming kind of broken up, though.
Oh, my bad. So there's some contradictions that appear to be in the King James Bible that are not in the Septuagint. With that being said, man, all I'm just saying is there's a lot of knowledge out there on the table out there for you, man. I just wouldn't disregard it right away. I would just look into it, and that's exactly what I did before I came a part of ABT. I just looked into the knowledge that was out there, and I dug through it, and it made sense to me. So I'm not taking a shot at you heads. You know what I mean? I love you guys, man. So I'm just, Josh is really trying to, put some stuff out there on the table, man, and, just don't forfeit it. That's all I'm saying, dog. So that's my comment.
I appreciate that. Let's go to the next person real quick. Try to get as much callers as possible. Let's see. I see a Skype caller here. Skype caller. You're live on Debate Talk for you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Hey, Shabbat Shalom. How you doing?
Pretty good. Welcome to the show.
Hey, all right. This is brother, fellow servant. Hey, Shalom, brother Hez. Shalom, brother Josh. How you brothers doing today?
All right. Shalom, brother.
I just have a quick question. In Luke 4, verse 18 and 19, when Christ quoted from the scroll of Isaiah, when he read that scroll, was that scroll written in Hebrew, was it written in Aramaic, or was it written in Greek? Anybody can answer that.
Who are you asking?
I just said anybody can answer that.
I didn't hear you. If they were reading the scroll out of the synagogue, right, it was written in Hebrew. But that doesn't mean that the author of Luke recorded what was how it appears in the Hebrew. He just let you know that they were reading from the quote in Isaiah 61. In other words, he's letting you know that he was reading in the synagogue and he was quoting from the book of Isaiah, and the Hebrew text was used in the synagogue, but that doesn't mean that Luke used the Masoretic text to describe what Jesus read. That's why we got to compare the two to see which one he used.
Okay, so if he was reading a Hebrew text in the synagogues, then why is it that we're automatically assuming that when he quoted from the Septuagint, which was the Greek translation of it?
Because you can just simply compare the New Testament quotes to the Old Testament quotes in the Masoretic and the Old Testament quotes in the Septuagint and see which one reads similar. That's all you got to do.
Now, Brother Hez, you want to take a shot at it? Go ahead, Brother Hez. Hezekiah?
Did you lose him?
Oh, my fault. I had my phone on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, it's conjecture. You know what I'm saying? He just conjecturally said that they used the Septuagint based on because the scriptures match up. You know what I'm saying? It's conjecture. That's all I got to add.
Can I just say one more time? Can I say one more thing on that, Sal?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a conjecture means a calculation or a guess. It's not conjecture, Hezekiah, when I take people directly to the source and let them read it. Conjecture would be me reading, the brother taking us to Luke chapter 4 and 18 and saying, well, if he quoting the Septuagint, and I just say, yeah, without showing anybody anything. That's conjecture. But if I actually take these people to the text like the brother did earlier and a few other brothers, and I showed you in this debate, that's not conjecture, bro. Just like if you show me that Jacob is the son of Isaac, that's not conjecture. You're taking me to the scripture and showing me that. That's not conjecture. So don't say stuff like that, bro, because that's just bearing false witness. So either that or you don't know what conjecture means. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, you're still on.
Yeah, conjecture, an opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information. Conjecture.
So it's not incomplete information if I take you directly to the source and you read it. How's that incomplete information? If I'm taking
because you saying they did it because you saying they read it because if you read it, you'll see it's the same. That's not without a doubt evidence. That's conjecture. It just so happened that they
happened.
But you said if you read the thing and you know what I'm saying, and they saying the same thing, and you saying 1 + 1 supposed to equal 2, but it ain't saying that. It's conjecture. You're saying
you and me, it's not conjecture, bro. You just don't want to see the truth. If me and you both write a document, if me and you both write a document, if me and you both write a similar document, if you and me both write a similar document, and somebody quotes us, right? Our documents are similar, but people can see there are some differences. And somebody quotes us, and somebody comes along later and says, I wonder who this brother's quoting, Josh or Hezekiah. What is he going to do? He's going to compare what I did. You're going to compare what that person quoted to what you wrote and what I wrote. And if it reads just like Hezekiah, then they'll know for sure, he was quoting Hezekiah. And especially if it was already revealed in history that people were quoting both Josh and Hezekiah at different times. That's all I'm saying. How is that too hard for you, bro?
Hello?
Yeah, you're still on. You're still on.
All you was asking. Well, all I'm saying is this. You said if you quote this or quote that and you put them together, this got to be Hezekiah. That's conjecture. You saying in your mind, this got to be Hezekiah because it match. It's got to be.
No, that's not what I said. What I said is that this was already established in history that people were quoting both Josh and Hezekiah. That's already established. When you see somebody quote anything, it's either Josh or Hezekiah. We already know that. So if that's already established in history, and it is, then if somebody comes along and quotes a verse, and they know Josh wrote about that verse, and Hezekiah wrote about that verse, and they say it is written, meaning they quoted somebody, then how do we know who they are quoting? They're going to pull up my version of it, they're going to pull up your version of it, and they're going to see who does it match. If it matches you, they're quoting you. If it matches me, they're quoting me. And sometimes I can even show you they blend the two together. I can show you that when they do a combination of both.
All right, we got to get to the people. We got a whole lot of calls here. Once again, I appreciate everybody that's calling in. And look like we're going to definitely go into the overtime. Right now, it's like 22 minutes on the air. So we definitely going to go into the overtime, but we still got some more time to get some more questions. So let's go to the people. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. All you got to do is press the number 1, let your voice be heard. Was Job an Edomite? Make sure you call in with your comments. 478-213. You're live on Debate Talk for You.
Man, Shabbat Shalom. This is Brother Antoine from ABT, man. Josh, you did a fantastic job tonight. And, I wanted to just address one thing here, talking about this whole king thing King James thing. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Hezekiah, bro, you came out, and I promise, like, not even like a minute or two in your opening statement, bro, you went and started reading from the book of Jasher. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much sense does that make? You say, I only deal with the King James, but in your opening statement today, you went ahead and quote with Jasher. And the fun thing about you quoting the book of Jasher, in the book of Jasher, it talk about, in the book of Jasher, chapter 58, you can go read it up your own. It talks about Jobab, which was the king. He ruled over the children of Esau and of all the children of the east. You can read that in Jasher chapter 58, and the same thing, and that same Jobab is talked about in the Septuagint, or when it talks about Job. You know what I'm saying? And dealing with this whole King James thing, you know, I know you don't celebrate Easter, bro, but Easter is in your King James Bible. And I know you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't just sit there and say, and then the Septuagint, brother, the Septuagint was 2,000 years before you got your King James. Just because you got the King James, you went to the store and decided to buy a King James, say, oh, this is what the Lord gave me. The Septuagint is readily available for you, but this was 2,000 years before that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit there and just miss something that was 2,000 years before. That absolutely makes sense. But to further prove that, you had a problem with the young man named Joseph, I believe his name was, a little 13-year-old boy that was on Sal's show the other day. You had a problem with that. And where in the law does it say you have to be a certain age but you have to teach? Where does it say that in the law? My first question.
Go ahead,
Numbers 47 or Numbers 4 and 47, I believe it is. And it's a bunch of, but here's the whole thing. Y'all think you can just throw scriptures, bam, bam, here, bam, bam, there, bam. You have to get this thing line upon line, precept on precept, here a little and there a little. Okay. As far as all of that other stuff that you talking, that's all carnal, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to deal with none of that on this show. So I'll answer your question. Here's Numbers 4 and 47, but as far as all that other stuff you talking, I ain't gonna deal with it because it's carnal. Oh, okay. 47. It says from. And then you was talking about the book of Joshua. I said I use them as reference. Y'all believe them over the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I deal with the King James version. Simple as that. And I don't deal with the listen to me. I don't deal with the Septuagint. Listen. You called in to get my perspective on it, correct? Okay. I don't deal with the Septuagint. Not going to deal with the Septuagint. Listen, we got that. Can I finish my statement, please? You wasting time. Good grief.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you reply.
Okay, well go ahead then. Go ahead. You about it. Go ahead. Okay, and I am not trying to cut him off, and I understand that you don't deal with the Septuagint. You said it like 100 times. And the point of me saying that you referenced Joshua, well, that same reference that you referenced says that Jobab ruled over, he was the king over the children of the east. And when you read in your Masoretic text, it says Job was the greatest of all the men. He was over everybody, other children of the east, in your Masoretic text. And it says in the same thing as Joshua about Jobab. But my thing was, now you say in Numbers chapter 4 and verse 3 and in verse 47, I know, and because we all come from the same school of thought, that it says from 30 years old even over to 50 years old that, you know, ought to do the work. First of all, that ain't got nothing to do with teaching. You can't read it there. And second of all, y'all believe that the Levitical priesthood is done away. This is talking to the Kohathites or from among the sons of Levi. This is talking to a specific Levitical priesthood. This was talking specifically to them. And then it says from 30 up until 50 that they must stop. Right? And it says the same thing in verse 47. Now, I know what's hypocritical about this whole thing, first of all, is that if you're going to say somebody got to start at the age of 30, then they have to stop at the age of 50. I know for a fact that the people that you admire as elders, the people that you call your elders and your teachers are over 50 years old. And you can read every single time when this law is repeated that you must cease at 50 years old. And first of all, this ain't even talking about teaching or nothing. When you read in Numbers chapter 3, you talk about the Kohathites, the work that they had to do, cleaning in the temple and looking after the altar. It had nothing to do with teaching, period. But my whole point of going here is when you read here in Numbers chapter 4 and 3, it says from 30 years old even over to 50 years old. But when the same law is repeated in Numbers chapter 8, and Brother Abdullah said this
how it may seem like a contradiction as a Masoretic text, but the Septuagint will clarify. If you read it in Numbers chapter 8, it says 8 and 24. It says from 25 years old and upward, they shall go and wait upon the service of the tabernacle in the congregation. So here in Numbers 8, it says 25. In Numbers 4, it says from the age of 30. But if I go read in the Septuagint in Numbers chapter 4, it says from 25 years old. In Numbers 4 and 3, it doesn't say from 30 years old. So in your Masoretic text, one say 30, then the other say 25, but in the Septuagint, it say 25 both times. So which is it?
You got to move on, brother. But go ahead, as you can reply quickly, because we got some more callers here.
From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old. It's saying from 30 years old up unto 50. If you pass 50 and you ain't started teaching yet, don't start. And then when it say 25, it says this is it that belongeth unto the Levites from 25 years and upward that go. Wait, this belongs to the Levites. You know what I'm saying? This other Levitical area, Numbers 4 and 47, that also goes under the Melchizedek priesthood, because if you understand the Melchizedek priesthood, you'd understand that it never stopped. So it's 30. And Jesus didn't start his ministry until he was 30. Why? But I yield with that.
Josh, you on? You can reply. Josh, you on? Brother Josh.
Oh, can you hear me? I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my mic muted like Hezekiah be doing because I was coughing. I don't want to be coughing all on the mic. First of all, like Antoine said, we all come from the same school of thought. This in Numbers chapter 4 is a law addressing Levi. It has nothing to do with anything that's going on with us today. Teaching is not mentioned here. So to use this particular verse in Numbers chapter 4 to try to restrict somebody from teaching before the age of 30 is deception. Because it doesn't mention teaching, just about the Levites having to be 30 years old to do the work of the tabernacle, and that's taking care of the furniture. It doesn't even mention the word teaching or instruction or anything like that. Second of all, it doesn't say that Jesus started at the exact age of 30. It said he was about 30. That means he could have been anywhere from 28 to 31 or 32 when he started. You know the word about mean? That means around. Like if I saw you walking around, they say, well, how old do you look? Oh, he look like you're about 30. That don't mean you most definitely 30. So pay attention to what you're saying. Unless it said Jesus was most definitely 30, then you can't say, oh, he had to be 30. So that's all I got to say on that. That's just another contradiction on the Israel of God part.
All right. Once again, we got some more callers here. We got like 13 minutes left on the air. I'm definitely going to go into the overtime part of the show. So, I guess I'm going to let you guys know once we get closer to, maybe 2 minutes left on the air, and have you guys call in to hear the rest of the show, get the final statements. Right about now, I'm just taking some more callers. The number is 646-716-7320. The title of this debate was Job an Edomite? Was Job an Edomite? Let's go to the next person. Let's see what the people got to say about this one. 773-312. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Hey, Jerome, this is Aaron.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Brother Josh and Brother Hezekiah? I'm at work, so I've been kind of in and out. I didn't really catch any of the scriptures, so I was just trying to get caught up. Hezekiah, if Job is not an Edomite, you're saying Job is not an Edomite, correct?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure because I've been in and out. I didn't really hear the position. That's why I asked.
Yeah, you sound distorted yourself too, brother, in the background. I'm hearing the background, but go ahead.
Who is Job? If he's not an Edomite, who is he?
I ain't come here to prove who he was. I came to prove that he wasn't no Edomite. So if you want to know who he is, then go to my class, and it's a class about who he is as far as his lineage, because we searched the lineage out more there. I just came here to prove that he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you searched out the lineage, I'll take the short version of,
Well, I would rather not deal with that on this show because the show was Job an Edomite. No, he wasn't.
it wasn't to prove Job was somebody else. It was to prove that he wasn't an Edomite. And there ain't no disrespect or nothing, and I'm not trying to be, mean or anything like that. I'm just saying I ain't come here for that. I said that in my opening statement, so I do apologize.
Oh, okay. I missed the opening statement. Like I said, I was just trying to get caught up because it just seems like if you're trying to disprove something, then by definition you should have an explanation of who he is. I don't know. I find it odd that you're disproving without proving. It's just because I do see that he was an Edomite as well, and that's why I was just questioning. What scriptures did I look at that says he's not an Edomite? What?
All right, Brother Josh, you can reply. I'm gonna run out of time. You can reply though.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. See, this is why I say I call myself the people's teacher, because I believe in serving the people. And that brother is absolutely correct. By proving that who Job was, you automatically shows who he wasn't. So the brother saying that from his understanding that why don't you just put on the table exactly who Job was from, right? And then that'll just destroy the whole belief of him being an Edomite. So the brother just basically saying, give me the short version, just tell me who he was, and then I'll look that up. If he was an Israelite, show me where he was an Israelite, what tribe he was from, blah, blah, blah. I feel the brother. I try to give the people that, so I'm not interested in proving just what something isn't. I feel that if you prove what something is, you automatically show what it isn't. That's what I believe.
Brother S.
Again, I came here to prove that he wasn't an Edomite, and that's what I did.
All right, let's move on to the next person. Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to call in, and I'll add you to the conversation. 502-650. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Yeah, I had called earlier. This is for Brother Josh. I was just wondering, one of the guys from ABT called in, and he said something about the celebration of Easter in the Bible, and I was wondering where is that, because I'm not sure where, what he was mentioning that.
Let me pull it up from you.
And also, hold on one more. After that, how is Abram, Isaac, and Jacob not Hebrew? And you go ahead with the first one.
No, okay. Address your first question. It's mentioned in Acts chapter 12 and verse 4. It says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth into the people. Now, that's translated Easter in the King James, but that's a mistranslation. That word that appears there is the Greek word Pashak, and that's the equivalent of the Hebrew Pesach, which is translated Passover. Now, the crazy thing is, sister, is every other time in the Bible this word appears in the Greek, it has Passover there. But in Acts, it's mistranslated Easter. You follow what I'm saying? Because by the time the King James was being translated, understood that Easter and Passover were the same thing. So that's why they translated that Easter. They had Passover in mind when they translated it. But they put Easter there because it was understood at that time in history that Easter and Passover is the same thing. You got even these Sunday churches that are still calling Easter Passover. Some churches still call it that, but they're not the same. Also, I never said that Abraham and Isaac were not Hebrews. I said they were not Hebrew Israelites. That's what I said. Abraham was a Hebrew. You can read that. And he was called a Hebrew because he was a descendant of Eber. Isaac also was a Hebrew because he was also a descendant of Eber. Jacob also was a Hebrew because he was a descendant of Eber. And then he got his name changed to Israel. And he still had that name Hebrew. So, he was still a Hebrew. So his descendants were called Hebrew, then he's a descendant of Eber, and Israelite from the name that he got when he went from Jacob to Israel, Hebrew Israelite. That's what I said.
All right, just to let the people know, we have like 6 minutes left on the air. 6 minutes left on the internet, so if you want to check out the final statement, you're going to have to call in by dialing the number 646-716-7320. Do me a favor, those people that already asked the question, just do me a favor, press number 1, and that'll take you off the switchboard and bring other people further up on the switchboard. Once again, if you already asked the question, do me a favor and press the number 1, and that'll take you off the switchboard and bring others up, further up on the switchboard. All right, so we're going to take just a few more questions before we get into the final statements. And once again, I appreciate everybody for calling in with their questions and their comments. Matter of fact, right about now, we have like 6 minutes left. I'm just going to take comments right now. Only comments, and then we're going to move on to the next person until we get to the time when we do the final statement. So if you have a comment, once again, call in. The number is 646-716-7320. Let's go to the next person. 845-665. Live on Debate Talk for you.
Yes, how you doing, old guy? Everybody, this is Brother Stanley. Happy Sabbath, Shabbat Shalom to all. I'm just calling, so I guess I'm just going to have to make a comment now because we're during comment times right now. All right, because I really had some questions, but it's all good, though. So let me make my statement. The Septuagint is something that a lot of Christians or a lot of people that believe in Christ have to do some research about because it is a very powerful, powerful book. Now, I want to address a couple of things that Brother Hezekiah said, and he's my brother, and I know he's studying God's Word, but I really suggest, Brother Hezekiah, that you really take your time and study the Word as far as the history of the Septuagint versus the Masoretic. You'll be surprised on what you'll find because if you really, really believe it, if you really want to care, if you are truly a Hebrew Israelite, then the Septuagint is something that you should lean upon most. Why do I say that? It's because if you understood the history of it, you'll understand that the Masoretes are the ones that made the Masoretic text, and they actually did it because they were against the Septuagint because Christians depended upon it. They didn't like Christians, so they came up with the Masoretic text, and they changed a couple of things in there. Do the history, and you'll find it. But, however, that came like in the 7th to the 10th century. Way after the fact. If you were living during the time of the 6th century, the 5th century, the 2nd century, the only Bible that you would have had was the Septuagint. That was the Bible. Now, I noticed that you kept saying stuff like, oh, well, you see, you guys can quote the Septuagint, but I use the Bible. But the Septuagint is the Bible, too. I mean, you have to think about what you're saying, because if you are rejecting the Septuagint, you are rejecting the Bible. That's what you're doing. You have to be very careful in what you're saying in front of these people, and a lot of these people. The Septuagint Bible, it was the Bible that Jesus Christ had. How do we know that? Philo, all of them quoted from it. Why is it so powerful? Because first of all, 70 people 70 scholars, Greeks and Hebrew scholars, were separated in 70 separate sections, and they were supposed to translate the original Hebrew into Greek. When all of them came together and they compared all 70 of them, everything was equally matched because the Holy Spirit was making use of that, was using them to do that. That's the reason why it's called the 70. So you have to be very careful because Jesus Christ and the apostles honored those words, and they quoted from it because it had power. So don't put that away. It's the Bible. It's the Holy Scriptures there. The Holy Spirit penned those words. So don't be careful when you say things like that. The Masoretic text came way after the fact. King James, if you want to be really technical, he was a white man, and all the scholars was led by Andrew Lancelot, and they were all white people, and they made this. They quoted from the Masoretic text and put the Bible that you have, the King James today. They did that, and how many times they had to made a lot of corrections on that. So you have to be very careful with that. Don't get me wrong, King James is a really good translation that we have today, but the Septuagint has always been there, and it's always been a holy book. So I really think if you take your time and do some studies on that, you'll be amazed on the power that the Septuagint has because it's always been around from the time of Jesus Christ up to now, and it's a very powerful book. I just want to encourage you, Brother Hezekiah, in your studies in that, all right? Please do not put away the Septuagint. It's God's Word. All right. God bless you all.
I appreciate your call. Once again, we've got like 1 minute and 56 seconds left on the air. If you want to hear the final statements, make sure you call in right about now. The number is 646-716-7320. But if you want to wait till later on until it's archived, you can always go to the website to check out the show later on. But if you want to hear the final statements, make sure you call in right about now. The number is 646-716-7320. We're going to take a few more comments from the people, and then we're going to go into the final statements. All right, let's see. 252-822. Live on Debate Talk for you.
Shalom. This is Brother Raheem from New York. Shalom to Josh, Sal, and Hezekiah.
Hey, what's up, brother?
All right, how y'all doing?
Well, pretty good.
Okay. Basically, since this is comment time, I'm just going to vary in on a couple of things. And to Josh, I did send a message to you, and it's all positive. And I thank Sal for having this show because we may have differences, but it's bringing people together. That's all I want to say. And also, I agree with Josh in what he's saying. Basically, a lot of people is doing this hate thing. I just want to read something. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7. Thou shalt not hate an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land. That kills that part. Then someone else said, only Israel had blessings. They're not reading that Bible. I'm a Muslim, and I know this. Genesis chapter 9, verse 17. And God said, or Yahweh, unto Noah, Noah was an Israelite. And it says, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. All flesh means all flesh. We speak in English. It means all flesh, a covenant. Noah was not a Hebrew Israelite. So people got to stop teaching that fabrication, because it's a fabrication. Job, basically, if you really want to get into him, his name was Ayabum or Ayub, which we say in Arabic, and even in the Mari text, those people call him Ayabum. The Amarna text, which is in Egypt, called him Ayub. Okay? And they, Ptolemy and Josephus, says east of Palestine proper or the borders of the Arabian desert. Eastern Bible Dictionary says Job, persecuted, an Arabian patriarch who resided in the land of Uz. Now, he's Edomite, Arabian, Midian, because all that was Arabia. Anything east on the other side of the Nile River was Arabia, and it was called Kusha Dweepa because the Kushites had all of that land into Arabia. They was like the first Arabians. So basically, Josh hit it on point. I mean, if you're going to come to a debate and say, I prove he wasn't an Edomite, but you don't show a source and show properties that this is why I said he's not, the debate is null and void, man, because at least a good debate would be, I'm going to show you his lineage. That will disprove what Josh said. But being that he didn't do that, Josh did it again. So thank you, Sal, and shalom to everybody, and everybody have a good weekend.
I appreciate your call, bro. I'm going to just take two more comments, and then we're going to go on into the final statement. We got to get to this final statement. Once again, I wish I could get to everybody out here, but time doesn't permit, so I'm going to take two more callers, and then after that, we're going to go into the final statement. All right, so let's go to the next person, 646-450. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Shalom, all. Hello, Sal. How's everything?
Pretty good, brother.
Hello? Okay, great. Peace to Brother Hezekiah. Peace to Brother Josh. I listened to the debate. I pretty much have to agree with Josh's position. And what I want to say to Hezekiah, just a quick comment. I used to be like that. I used to think like KJV only. But after doing research, I realized that you shouldn't look at it like that. There's many reasons why. The KJV, for instance, Brother Stanley called earlier. He said how the KJV, it came from the KJV is used, a good translation, but you have many other historical documents out there like the Septuagint and the Masoretic text. The KJV takes from actually both. So to just totally disregard the Septuagint is not really being an honest student of the Bible. A clear example of the KJV taken from the Septuagint is Psalm 22 and 16. And, the brother can look it up when he gets time. Peace.
I appreciate your call, brother. Take one more call, one more comment, and then we're going to go into the final statement. Just one more, and then we're going to go into the final statement. Let's see, 312-532. The live on debate talk for you.
Shalom, shalom. Praise the mighty Yah, brother. Thank you for letting me comment. And I heard the debate from start to finish. My name is Brother Moshe out of Chicago. And I also went to the Israel of God for at least 16 years. And I was there with some of the best brothers to me when it comes to the scriptures on earth. But right now, I notice that I'm being shunned by a lot of them for a lot of that same reason, that spirit that my dear beloved Hezekiah got on him now by saying I read the King James Version Bible only. That's that same spirit that's on them brothers that go there here in Chicago that have shunned me because I've studied it. Like the brother Josh, he used this word so eloquently. He said, you have to come outside that box, brother. There's so much more out here to learn. And and believe you me, I teach now a Bible class that's called The Remnant of Yah here in Chicago, and many of these brothers in Chicago know me. I have a television show that runs here now. But some of my biggest critics are some of the Israel of God brothers. You have to come outside that mindset, brother, that if it's not KJV, you're going to close your mind to an awful lot out here that you can learn. And I beg of you, brother, I'm not one to say Job was an Edomite or an Israelite. I'm wise enough to say I'm unlearned in that. I don't know that. I just know what I was taught. But just listening to the debate, you sound identical to most of them brothers that I grew up with in Israel and God. You can't tell them nothing if it don't come out the King James Version Bible. You're selling yourself short, brother. Please, just do some research. Search deep inside yourself, and you'll find out that there's a little more to that King James Version Bible than you thought. Shalom, shalom. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for your call. I'm squeezing one more. There's one more caller. Before we get to the final statement, let's squeeze in one more. Hold on for 1 second. Let's go to the people. I like hearing from the people, so let's see what they got to say. 773-405. You're live on Debate Talk for you.
Yeah, shalom, shalom. Can you hear me, Brother Talk?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, this is Brother DV. I just want to say shalom to Brother Hezekiah, Brother Joshua. I just want to make a quick statement. If you research Brother Hezekiah, because I too was a former member of the Israel of God, and I went there for 20 years. In any case, my point to you is this: if you do some research, and you must do this, the Septuagint is the Old Testament, okay? And even in the King James Bible, it warns you about stubbornness. I think it says stubbornness is as witchcraft. And I'm not going to repeat the other part. And I'm not saying this to bash you, brother. I'm just saying this. There are a lot of things that are even in the Bible that you have to look at again to make sure that they are correct before you speak on them. Nevertheless, I enjoyed the debate. I didn't listen to all of it, but the parts that I heard, I enjoyed the debate. And you have to do one more thing, and I'll make this my last point. The Bible, even the King James Bible, tells you, Brother Hezekiah, to prove all things. You did not do that. You took a stance, a personal stance, and you had to leave personalities out the Word of God. You have to come on this debate talk show and disprove what Josh is claiming. You did not do that, and that's what you are commanded to do. And that's all I have to say. I hope you keep an open mind and search. The Lord says seek. And you're not doing it. You're just closing your mind because that's what you were taught. I was taught that, okay? But that's not the way to go. You have to seek the things that the Lord put out here for all of his sheep. You got to listen for his voice, okay? And his voice is written not only in the Septuagint, it's written there in the King James too. But you can't throw the Septuagint away because it is the Old Testament. That's my comment, and everybody, shalom, and I hope everybody has a great Sabbath.
I appreciate your call. All right, guys, we got to get into the final statement, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody. I know it's a lot of people I couldn't get to. Apologize, but, time doesn't permit. We're going to go into the final statement right now. And once again, I appreciate my special guest for bringing forth the information to the listening audience out there and for the listening audience for calling in and putting your knowledge on the table as well. You guys make the show what it is today, so I appreciate you guys for calling in to Debate Talk for You. Let's get to this final statement. And final statement is going to be 7 minutes each. We're going to start off with Brother Hezekiah. Let me open up his phone line, and you can go ahead.
Yeah, I respect all the callers' views and everything they got to say or what have you, but the King James Bible in the English language is the Word of God. Simple as that. And, if you want to deal with the Septuagint and, learn all this stuff or what have you or whatever the Septuagint has to offer, you was called for that. I was not called for that. I was called to deal with the King James Version. I will use references that line up with the King James Version. If it does not line up, I'm not going to use it. So if you want to deal with a ministry that deals with the King James only and uses references to help give understanding to the Scriptures, because the Scriptures really make the understanding themselves. You got to go line upon line, precept on precept, here a little or there a little. You know what I'm saying? And my only thing is with this whole thing is if the Bible does not say it, then you can't make the claim. It's simple as that. He ain't no Edomite. I showed that because his whole thing with it being an Edomite, from the Bible anyway, is Job was in the land of Uz. One of his boys was a Temanite. And then, Lamentations talk about the daughters of Edom dwelling in the land of Uz. You know what I'm saying? And inference right there, Job was an Edomite. But when you look at the lineage as we went through, it was 3 Uzes. We read from Jasher, which is a reference that the children of Aram built the city of Uz, and then was Keturah's kids. We also read in Genesis 25 that the children of the east was Keturah's kids. You know what I'm saying? And then he also didn't address Bildad, who was a Shuhite, who was also of Keturah's kids, as well as Sheba, who was also of Keturah's kids. So it's in that line. I have a lesson. If you come to the class, I got a lesson that gives specifically the line he came through, all of that. I got a lesson on it. I didn't bring it here tonight because my aim was, I know all y'all say, if you would have went ahead and proved, well, the debate should have been, he's not an Edomite, he's this. You know what I'm saying? But the debate was that he not no Edomite, and I proved that he wasn't no Edomite by the Bible. Now, if you want to deal with the Septuagint, and the Septuagint says he was an Edomite, you want to believe that Job was an Edomite, then that's fine, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? So I believe I made the case. For the most part, the listening audience, it seems that they believe Josh made the case. That's fine. But if you got to go to the Septuagint and let that be above the King James Version, call me stubborn if you want to call me stubborn. But I don't believe I'm stubborn. I believe that I'm supposed to stay in this Bible that I was raised up in. You know what I'm saying? When I come into this thing. If you want to get all this knowledge or what have you, then do that. If you want to learn all this knowledge and you know what I'm saying? My point is that salvation is in between this Genesis and Revelation. Salvation is right there. And that's the whole point of us even being Israelites or even doing this, is because we want to someday say, Jesus tell us, great servant,
thou hast done well. Enter into the place prepared from the foundation of the earth. You know what I'm saying? That's ultimately where we all want to get to. You understand what I'm saying? I came here to show that Job was not an Edomite. I believe I showed it. I believe I showed it according to the Bible and the couple references that I use. Matter of fact, let me read this last reference over one more time because I was unable to read this last reference too pretty good, but here you go. This is the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. It says, the home of the patriarch Job, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The land of Uz was in no doubt the pasturing ground inhabited by one of the tribes of that name. If indeed there be more than one tribe intended, the following are determining data occurred in the book of Job. The country was subject to raids by the Chaldeans and the Sabians, which we read, and then Job's friends was a Temanite, a Namite, and a Shuhite. And it says Shua was the son of Keturah, was the wife of Abraham. So you had the Shuhite in the land, which was one of Keturah's kids. You had the Temanite. I don't believe that Temanite is Eliphaz and Esau. I believe that Temanite is actually of the troops of Tema. But, you know, search it out for yourself, brothers and sisters. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you the understanding. Don't follow no man. Follow the Bible, or as it is written in your language. Because 2 Corinthians chapter 14 say, languages is for a sign, not to them that believe, but them who believe not. But prophesying is for those who believe, not for those who believe not. So with that, I proved Job was not an Edomite. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's up to you. So with that, I yield. Thanks again, Sal, for the time. Thanks, Josh, for coming in and accepting the invitation for the debate. And I hope it was an edifying experience for all. So with that, grace and peace. Happy Sabbath.
I appreciate you for being a special guest on the show, brother. Appreciate that. All right, so we're going to go to Brother Josh with his final statements. That's going to be 7 minutes. Then we open up his phone line, and go ahead.
Thank you, Sal. And, you know, I'm just sitting back, and I'm just observing everything this brother said. And, I mean, I just shake my head. Because I got much love for them. And a lot of folks think it's just because I disagree with them or I come at them with a lot of fire because I got something against them. And I really don't, right? Here's the thing, though. And I love to point stuff like this out. The brother said at the end of the day, it don't really matter. I'm just throwing up what he said. I'm not quoting him verbatim. But at the end of the day, he said it don't matter about all this knowledge, whether Job was an Edomite or not, blah, blah, blah. What matters is, you know, you get salvation. I completely agree with that. Yet he is the one that challenged me on this. Now, is the brother really all about edification? Why didn't the brother call Sal up and say, Sal, ask Josh if he would do a class with me together about it's all about salvation or the importance of salvation? If it's all about that. No, he wants to take a topic that I put out there that a lot of people liked or felt enlightened by. So you ain't got to know this to get salvation. Right? So he want to take that and he want to put me on blast on that, right? The brother said he feels that he proved this point. Well, let every man be persuaded in his own mind when it comes to that. But what I get from debate talk for you is that the people are the judge and the jury, and in some cases even the executioner. And the people have spoken. Some of them were ABT, a lot of them wasn't ABT. These are unbiased people, Hezekiah. They have no loyalty to me. They have no reason to just agree with me over you. You follow what I'm saying? These people are going by what I put out there and what you put out there. You have to face facts, bruh. You lost. You did all that grandstanding on Facebook telling everybody it's going to be a massacre and a bloodbath. Then you come on the debate talk, you say it ain't even about winning or losing. It's about edification. That's like Floyd Money Mayweather getting in the ring and talking big about what he going to do to his opponent. And then when he get in the ring and he make his announcement, you know, it ain't even really about me winning. It's just about me just fighting a worthy opponent. Come on, man. Maybe the little people who roll with you falling for that, bro. But I'm not buying it, bro. You made a proclamation. You told people who respect me and like what I'm doing that I'm going to shut your teacher down. You were talking big, bro, and then when you got on here, the debate talk for you audience turned against you. So whatever bloodbath or massacre that you promised is in your mind only, bro. You are delusional. You are deceiving yourself. We thoroughly proved everything we said. I believe that Teeman or Tima is somebody's Teemanite. No, look the word up and let it tell you who it is. Oops, my bad. You don't believe in looking up words. So how can anybody show you anything? I've already shown you in the Bible that I-T-E-N is not the only way they pluralize words. But you're trying to use that logic to try to make Tima and Teemanite be the same thing, even though I took you to 2 Bible dictionaries and showed you that they are different. Then you keep talking about Bildad, him being a Shuhite. I have no problem with him being of the tribe of Keturah, but if you really want to get technical, we can look that up in the Smith Bible Dictionary. Bildad, and let's see what it says. So you don't look nothing up. You guess it. You talk about conjecture. Look what you said. I believe it was this. Why don't you look the word up and tell the people what it is? This is Bildad. It says the second of Job's friends. He is called the Shuhite, which implies both his family and nation. So what do we do after we get to something like that? We look up Shuhite. You know what I'm saying? You know, you do a lot of talking, bro. You do a lot of grandstanding, but then when it's time to get in this ring, the debate talk for you artists already let you know you didn't do anything. You follow what I'm saying? I'm going to massacre him. I'm going to give him a bloodbath. And then you're going to talk the fruits of the Spirit. Is that the fruits of the Spirit? Did you ever see Paul and Jesus walking around about how they going to cut somebody? It's like that brother Moshe said about that algae spirit. That's an Israel of God spirit walking around talking about they going to cut somebody. Now you want to front, it's edification. I'm trying to edify somebody. No, bro, you ain't fooling nobody. You got that same spirit of you going to cut somebody. I don't come on debate talk for you with that. I come on debate talk for you to edify people. That's what I do. That's why I was not on debate talk for you talking about, on Facebook talking about what I'm going to do to you. Oh, I'm going to do this to him, your teacher, or you going to leave your teacher after you know what I'm saying, after I show him wrong. That's all the stuff people saying on Facebook. Then when people bring that up, I don't want to get that carnal stuff, all that stuff carnal. Bro, you the one saying it. You know what I'm saying? You the one saying all this stuff about all of this. Now, this is Shuhite. Look at this. It says this ethnic appellative, Shuhite, is frequent in the book of Job, but only as the epithet of one person, Bildad. The local indications of this book point to a region on the western side of Chaldea, bordering on Arabia, and exactly is in this locality, above Hit and on both sides of the Euphrates, and are found in Assyrian inscriptions. So, me reading that, or I ain't dealing with that, I just did. How does that help your argument? I already said that Midianites, Arabs, and Amalekites all made up the children of the East. Nothing you brought today refutes anything I said. You did more conjecturing, going to the Catholic Encyclopedia and all that other crap more than anybody. You are a grandstander, bruh, and you thought you was going to get on here and scheme and philosophize your way through this debate, and then all the folks are going to call in and be riding all on you. Oh, Hezekiah, you really showed him. But these people are not stupid. They have seen that you, in fact, were the one that got massacred and was the victim of this bloodbath. And you know what's so messed up? The debate talk for you audience slaughtered you worse than I did. This is a first. So, brothers, cut the game. Stop talking about me on Facebook because you were not ready. That's all I got to say.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $salshowtime. Thanks for your support.